Hey folks, welcome to Spanish Fork 17. It is day 2 down here in St. George, and here on Saturday we are going to be doing both of Maple Mountain's games. So the first of their games here is going to be against the Dixie Flyers, who are hosting the tournament here. It'll be the Golden Eagles up against the Flyers in this beautiful game here at Flyer Field. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of wind, but certainly not as biting as it was last night over at Snow Canyon. We are very happy for the sun. We're very happy for some baseball. It is Andrew LaRose and Coach T with you here today for the games. Coach T, how are you feeling? How are things?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. There's no better day than today down here in beautiful St. George at Dixie High School to enjoy some baseball. This is the Kona Ice Classic, and yesterday Kona Ice didn't seem all that appealing, but today, you know what? It actually sounds pretty dang good.
Yeah, today a nice shave ice would go a long way, that's for sure. And it's going to be 2 games, like I say, here today. We've got the Golden Eagles up against the Flyers here in Game 1. We'll have another game later on here today at about 4:30 p.m. That game will be against the Bear River Bears. And so don't get too far away from things here on Spanish Fork 17. Once we're done, go ahead and make yourself a late lunch, I guess, would be the case, and then make sure to jump back on around 4:30 to be able to catch that game against the Bears as well. But this is always a fun one. We love coming down here to Flyer Field. We're usually down here covering Spanish Fork games. They usually will be down here for the Red Rock Classic. They are playing their games over at Snow Canyon for things, and they're finishing out with a couple more games here today as well. But we are again here at Flyer Field for these 2 games here for the Golden Eagles, and we are very excited about this season for the Golden Eagles. A lot of good young guys on the squad that have kind of grown up in the program. They're now starting to be upperclassmen. Again, Coach Thomas has been around for a couple of years now, so really kind of starting to see the fruits of his labors in terms of what he's been able to do for the program. A couple of guys that who are a couple of the guys that Coach Thomas wanted us to highlight there, Coach T.
Well, first off, you talk about Coach Thomas being there for 3 years. Hey, he's a Coach T too. A lot of Coach T's out there. Yeah. He's been there 3 years. Not only that, but most of his staff has been there 3 years. So there's a lot of cohesiveness with the staff. They have a pretty good understanding of each other. And I'm not going to compare him to Dixie because that'd just not really be fair. Their coaches have been together, some of them 20 years just about. So. But as far as some of the players go for the Golden Eagles, they have Cy Chrisman. He's at first base. A.J. Thomas, he's a third-year starter. He is the coach's son, but that's not really doing him any favors. He's just really a standout player. And then you got seniors Logan Brinkhurst and Brain Catterson. Coach just talked about how they kind of cement the team together. They're the glue players. They might not necessarily stand out as far as their numbers go, but they're the kind of guys you need in the dugout, the guys that, you know, when the momentum kind of falters to get the team back going. And then a surprise younger player, Chase Johnson. He's a junior. He's not super young, but he's been standing out a little bit this tournament. And lastly, Coach mentioned Bennett Averett. He's a multi-sport athlete. He plays basketball. Just a real athletic kid. He's able to chase down some of those fly balls out to center field. So just a really good lineup there.
Yeah, some real great guys. Again, these are some guys that we also saw on last year's team. Chase Johnson in particular is one that, oh my goodness, last year had an absolutely phenomenal sophomore season. The lefty pitcher is easily one of the best pitchers in the state. Just absolutely fantastic. Was named to, I believe, the second team 5A All-State last year. So yeah, just a great kid, a great arm, and we're excited to be able to see him here in Game 1, and it's going to be a good one here. I'm pretty excited about it. It's always fun, like I said, to be here at Flyer Field and to kind of take in the scene here.
It is a beautiful field. You know, that's one thing I've really appreciated about these schools down here is they take their baseball pretty dang seriously. We saw Snow Canyon in their season debut last night, and outside of the context, this sounds a little weird, but that game they earned 100 hot dogs. And now for the context, every time that you hit a home run, that's 20 hot dogs for all the fans, the first fans to go to the concession stand. So Snow Canyon hit no less than 5 home runs last night. They're just... It seems like every single school down here, they get a lot more of a season to come out and practice, and I know that the Utah High School Athletics Association kind of has a limit on when they can practice throughout the year. But, oh, and look at that. So they are the Dixie Flyers. This is a Dixie Flyer. It's an airplane.
It is an airplane. It is indeed flying in, so we're going to count it. So the Flyers are indeed flying in over Flyer Field here in St. George, Utah. And again, absolutely beautiful vista here. Flyer Field is, again, one that's also kept really well. We were over at Snow Canyon yesterday. That we also noted that field was also just really pretty.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, they do a great job with the groundskeeping out here.
This game features the Golden Eagles of Maple Mountain High School and the Dixie.
Yeah, other teams have it pretty easy. You know, their mascot's an eagle or their mascot's a bulldog or something, and then you get down here and they say, "Oh yeah, our mascot's an airplane."
And you're like, "Well, say what?"
As you hear the airplane pass overhead on the PA system.
Yeah, I love that.
Starting lineups first for Maple Mountain, leading off. Kobe Warren, batting second, A.J. Thomas. Batting third and playing first base, Cy Chrisman. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Logan Bringhurst. Batting fifth and pitching, Chase Johnson. Batting sixth, the catcher, Brayden Patterson. Batting seventh, playing right field, Caden
Sorry, we're just
Giles.
quickly scribbling down some notes here and some lineups. We just barely got the lineup card for Dixie. So while we've got some time here, I figured it's a good time to go ahead and thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Again, thank you to all of those wonderful companies for making these broadcasts possible and getting it out to you wonderful fans, whether on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. If you are on the YouTube page, make sure to click that subscribe button and join our Spanish Fork 17 family so you can get all the awesome content that we have there, be able to get updates on when we're going live with these games. And again, we love our Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork games, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, volleyball, you name it. We try to do our best to get as much coverage as we can. So we're excited to be here today at Flyer Field and be able to do a couple games here for Maple Mountain.
Even a little wrestling this year, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, even a little wrestling, which has been a lot of fun. We're really starting to expand the catalog a little bit, which is pretty great. I know I called the soccer game a couple of years ago. That was a unique experience for me. I've called a couple spike ball tournaments as part of Fiesta Days, as that one is grounded over to third. Nice scoop there over at first base to get out number one. Again, that's Kobe Warren that was leading things off for Maple Mountain. It will be A.J. Thomas and Cy Chrisman due up next here for Maple Mountain.
Yeah, he thought he was going to catch him off guard and taking a big swing on the first pitch of the game, and just a heads-up play by the Flyers out here to scoop that over to first.
Excellent pinch pumped in for strike one to A.J. Thomas. Thomas, the designated hitter today for the Golden Eagles. Typically kind of plays all over the diamond, one of the main catchers on the team. That one is in there for a strike. Another nice pitch. The count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that is just a beautiful paint job there by Levitt for strike 3. That's his first strikeout on the day. It'll now be 2 outs here in the top of the first. It'll bring up the big first baseman, Cy Chrisman. Chrisman had an excellent season last year. Has already seen some success here in the tournament games down here in St. George. As he laces one out into left field, kind of left center field. It's going, and he's going all the way to the warning track and off the fence, and he will pull up at second base with a 2 Jacks double. And that's the way to start things off here in this ballgame. Nice job there by Cy Chrisman to just lay into that one.
You can tell today, last night the wind was doing just about everybody favors. Today the wind isn't so far really going to play a big factor in things. There's a slight breeze that blows around to, cool you off a little bit, but it's nothing like the gale that we were facing last night.
No, that was absolutely unreal. I mean, I came in wearing short sleeves thinking, here we go, getting some sun. It was really nice. And then by game 2, it was just like, I am dying with this wind. And so we're definitely thankful that it is a lot milder today. And so instead of the crazy winds, we're just getting some nice rays, some nice gusts, and some nice baseball here on Spanish Fork 17. As Bringhurst will watch that second pitch for a ball as well. Count will move to 2 balls and no strikes. Bringhurst the cleanup hitter today for Maple Mountain, playing over at third base. Chrisman at second after the 2-out double. Bringhurst going to check swing. It's going to roll over to third. And another dig over at first base. Your first baseman is your best friend, folks, as out number 3 is made. So 1 hit for Maple Mountain. No runs, and so still a 0-0 ball game after the top of the first. In between innings here, we'd like to thank our sponsors once again here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm.
2 excellent plays made over at first base, and who is that over in the corner?
So playing
first base for the Flyers.
First base for the Flyers. All I know is that he's doing a phenomenal job. Let me get that pulled up. That's Bartholomew over there at first base. Now that is a skill that is needs to be well practiced by all first basemen out there. Is that scoop job, so that you can be your shortstop, third baseman, second baseman's best friend, and kind of cover up on some of the miscues that they make every now and then, throwing it across the diamond.
Well, not only the scoop catches, but also just to be able to keep your foot on the base at the same time. It's sometimes pretty difficult, and I bet you about any of those first basemen would be pretty good at that old game Twister. You remember that?
Absolutely.
Dots
yes, I remember Twister.
Always seemed to make an appearance in the early 2000 parties.
It really did. So that's Cooper Bartholomew that's playing first base for the Flyers. Again, still kind of working on the final touches on their lineup here. They're going to start things off with Boston Vest. And he will be followed by Ridge Erickson. And then it will be Yates following him. It's Braxton Yates. So that's the 1, 2, 3 in the order for the Flyers. Then, of course, you saw Chase Johnston on the mound for the Golden Eagles. What a year he had last year. And start things off a little bit. It's been solid so far this season as well, but expect to see him really crank things up here in region plays. That one gets fouled away by Vest. He's already in an 0-2 hole. The Vest, a pretty strong pipeline for the Flyers. That one is going to be high for ball 1. Boston's older brother Cooper plays for BYU, is a pretty vital part of the squad there for the Cougars. That one is going to be low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also got to call a game with him a few years ago down here at this very tournament where he absolutely blanked out Spanish Fork, as that one is swung on and missed. Nice strikeout there for Chase Johnston. So of the 21 outs that happened in that game, 20 of them were strikeouts.
Wow.
Just absolutely sensational pitching from Cooper Vest. This indelible mark on my brain was just one of the absolute classics that I've just ever witnessed, let alone actually gotten the pleasure to broadcast.
Now is he starting over at BYU, or is he a closer?
He is. Yeah, so he's not even pitching, which is crazy. I'm like, that's how crazy it is at the college level. You can be an absolute standout, you know, but then you go to college. But he kind of bounces around the field, but mostly out in the outfield at this point. Usually bats kind of in the middle of the order, so he's a big, important bat in their lineup.
Yeah, if you have an arm for it, they can pretty much use you anywhere.
Laces this out to shallow center. That's going to be the first base hit for the Flyers off the bat of their catcher, Ridge Erickson. So 1 out single for Dixie, and it's going to bring up Braxton Yates now for the Flyers. Braxton, another one that kind of floats around the field a little bit. According to Max Preps, we have him as a first baseman, a pitcher, and an outfielder. He's out in left field in this game, and no, he's pitched quite a bit last year. I think I believe we saw him last year when we came down here for Spanish Forks game against the Flyers. That one is in there for a strike.
You've done this tournament every year, so is it pretty common for the home field team, in this case Dixie, do they always kind of get a game in there?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty...
I mean, it makes sense. You got the fans just a couple blocks away, and no better way to open your season than these kind of games, even though they're on the home field. They're low consequence games in this tournament play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun to be able to play some competition outside of your normal people. So I mean, right. they get teams from Arizona, they get teams from Nevada to come out to these tournaments as well. I think I saw Coronado is here today. That's another team that we've seen a few times at this tournament, as that one is swung on and missed, and that will be strikeout number 2 now for Chase Johnston.
That's New Mexico, right? Coronado?
Coronado. So, I mean, there is one that isn't. There's Coronado, New Mexico, but this specific Coronado is just out in Nevada, kind of in the.
Okay.
I think they're in the Vegas area, if I remember correctly. So, up now is the cleanup hitter. It's Logan Levitt. So 2 outs and a runner on first base. Johnston hoping to close the door here on inning number 1, keep this game scoreless. Levitt, the opposing pitcher in today's game. Kind of fun to have the opposing pitcher be pitching and also batting cleanup.
It's a big mantle of responsibility.
Yeah, it tells me that he's pretty good. Fouls that one away. It'll be an 0-1 count now on Levitt. A nice day here at Flyer Field. We do have a pretty nice contingent of Golden Eagles fans that made the trip down here to St. George, and a few of them mentioned that they also even were at last night's games. A few of them even made the quick trip over to Snow Canyon to watch a Don's game. So love kind of seeing the crosstown camaraderie, you know, as well as obviously crosstown rivalry stuff too. But love seeing the support for both teams.
Well, the rivalry's there as long as, you know, they're playing each other, but the second that goes away, they're still neighbors, you know, from both pretty rural towns as of 10 years ago. Obviously, they've had a big boom in both those cities, but
the 1-1 is laced out into right field, and it is fair ball. Extra bases for Logan Levitt, and the first run of the ball game scored for Dixie, as Erickson will score on the RBI double by Logan Levitt.
Yeah, you really can't plan it better than that. That one just barely in play, and then had a nice side spin on it to get over against the fence. So just really difficult to field that ball.
Yeah, there's just not much that the right fielder there was going to be able to do. You know, Caden Giles did what he could to range over there just to be able to make sure that thing didn't turn into a triple. So 1 run across after the RBI double for Dixie. This one, oh, look out, as that one goes right at his own dugout. Woo! Yeah, that'll be a check your pulse moment.
Yeah, that's some heat on it.
Absolute screamer right into his own dugout. Settles back in for the 0-1 pitch from Johnston.
And do they call it a screamer because of how fast the ball is moving,
just
that it makes that whistle, or because that's what the boys are doing in the dugout?
You know, maybe it's both. Maybe it can be both. From what I know of, it is more the first one. It's that it's hitting so fast that it's got the going to it. So, and that had some nice sound to it, as that's going to be out into center field. Averett trying to track that thing down, and he eventually corrals it in. Good range there from Bennett Averett to close the door here on inning number 1. 1 run comes across on the RBI double by Logan Levitt. 1-0 ball game between the Flyers and Golden Eagles. We'll get you inning number 2 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Inning number 2 of this one between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the host team, the Dixie Flyers, at the Dixie Sunshine Tournament, and there has been a lot of that today. Absolutely love the weather here. It's right in the mid-60s. It feels glorious. It feels exactly like it should feel like for March baseball down here in St. George. 1-0 ball game here, an RBI double by Logan Levitt to get Dixie on the board. And for Maple Mountain, they got a double out of Cy Chrisman, but was left stranded there in inning number 1. So they will bring up hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Chase Johnston, Braden Catterson, and Caden Giles due up here in inning number 2 for Maple Mountain.
Yeah, you saw Averett make that catch out in midfield at the end of the bottom of the first. And Coach mentioned to me before the game that one of the assistant coaches that just joined the program is actually his older brother, and he played a few years at Utah Valley UVU. So, and he was the pitcher over there.
Oh, nice.
Left-handed pitcher.
So ball 1 to Johnston. Holds up on that one, and it is a called strikes. Just kind of gets that inside part of the plate. The count 1-1 on Johnston. Pitched a decent first inning for Maple Mountain, just allowing the 1 run, 2 strikeouts, really commanding the strike zone well here so far in the ball game. Now looking at a 1-2 count.
And that fastball's lethal. Don't blink.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid fastball there from Levitt. The 2-2 swung on and missed. That'll be the second strikeout of the day for Logan Levitt, as Johnston will make his way back to the bench. And coming up now for the Golden Eagles is Braden Catterson.
Number 28, Braden Patterson.
That one pops in there for strike 1. What I also like about both of these pitchers is they've both been pretty no nonsense, just going right at these hitters. Not a lot of time in between pitches.
Well, and that also has something to do with the batters. They're ready, standing next to the plate, not calling for time, and taking steps back, giving their head a scratch, and hawking a loogie, and then stepping back into the plate.
Oh, sure, yeah, they don't have their full-on, approaching the plate ritual that some of these major leaguers have. Slow roller over to second base. The play will be made, and that will be out number 2 here in the top of the second. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and so I remember back in the day, Nomar Garciaparra, had his whole ritual of, moving around his wristbands, readjusting the batting gloves, and kind of did a fun little funky dance thing while he was in the box. And, now all that stuff is starting to go away now with the pitch clock.
Yeah, you see some of these guys now turn into, well, before the pitch clock was introduced, they'd step out and turn into Michael Jackson for a second there, if you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Give themselves a grab and then step back up to the plate.
Gotta adjust everything. Get yourself all set to go.
Right.
The 2-0 pitch here from Levitt. Swung on and missed by Caden Giles to move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Lazy fly ball out towards right field. It'll land foul, a couple feet away from some of the
those fans maybe ought to get off their phones and pay a little bit of attention.
Absolutely.
When you're
that was only a couple feet away. So, I mean, someone had been able to pop a glove on, they probably could have caught that thing.
As the tag's made for the out to end the top half of the second inning.
It's another strikeout there. So 3 strikeouts on the day now for Logan Levitt, and he gets through another clean inning against this Golden Eagles lineup. Score stays 1-0 as we move on over to the bottom half of the second. Gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, run it for us.
We'd like to thank Lance, Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Johnston getting in some warm-ups after a decent first inning, only allowing the one run off the RBI double by Levitt. 2 strikeouts already. Again, just kind of looking pretty sharp here in this one thus far. Again, just 1 inning pitch, but already, I think, establishing some early confidence here in this one.
Yeah, that's one thing that Coach Jeremy Thomas, Maple Mountain, pointed out before the game. He said word for word, said, "Coach, how are you going to win this one?" And he said, "We have great starting pitching." And I think he's really counting on that. They've been painting the strike zone really well and just getting a bunch in there. And so I think we've seen that for the most part so far. And you win some, you lose some, especially against a great slugging team like the Flyers out here. But hopefully he can get the edge in the second inning.
It will be batters 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup for Dixie to start things off in inning number 2. That's going to be Orton, Franco, and Lee coming up. So it's Max Orton digging in here for the Flyers.
Leading off for the Dixie Flyers, the second baseman, Max Orton.
And he will again be followed up by Trace Franco. That one is laced down the line, but it'll be foul. So it'll be a fairly loud strike 1 for Max Orton.
Well, they don't take any warm-up time, do they? Both the times they've been up to bat, they're always eager to get swinging on that first pitch.
That one is going to miss. He'll leave a count at 1 ball and 1 strike. This one a drive out to center field, and nice play made out there by Averett for out number 1.
Well, he's been pretty steadfast so far.
Yep. Caught the fly ball by Bartholomew. Had to range back pretty far for that one. This one not quite as much movement needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fielder Trace Franco.
And Franco goes after that first pitch, and it will roll over to the shortstop, and that will be a quick out number 2 in inning number 2.
Yeah, Hyatt didn't have to move much for that one either. It took the 1 bounce and just came right into his lap pretty much.
Yeah, definitely got to love that. James Lee now strides in for the Flyers. Lee playing third base today for the Flyers, and he will watch a first pitch strike. That one just barely misses. Johnston probably would have loved to have gotten that one called, but just a tick outside for ball 1.
Yeah, good framing by Catterton, but there's only so much you can do in that situation.
Yes.
And doesn't have to do anything there.
Well, that one just a pretty one. So now count 1 and 2. The 1-2 gets absolutely blown by Lee. Love that pitch from Johnston. 3rd strikeout of the day. Puts up a 0 on the scoreboard. The score remains 1-0 after 2. We will get you inning number 3 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. Inning number 3 of this one between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers as part of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament at beautiful Flyer Field in St. George, Utah. It is a 1-0 ball game after 2 innings. The lone RBI coming off a double by Logan Levitt. And otherwise, it's been a pretty calm ball game for both sides. A double in inning number 1 for Cy Crispin. Otherwise, no other runners have reached on yet for Maple Mountain. So it'll be 8, 9, and 1 in their lineup here in inning number 3. Bennett Averett, Hayden Hyatt, and then back to the top of the order in Colby Warren.
And Bennett has made 2 great plays in midfield over there. We'll see what he can do at the plate.
Taps one down the third base line. That is actually played on quite nicely over there by Coach Thomas down the third base line.
Well, there's a reason he's a baseball coach.
Absolutely. And who even needs a glove? Am I right? You know?
Yeah, that's why I was saying we got the net over us now, but I'd expect you, Andrew, to be able to jump up and just grab that ball out of there if it's pop fly or
for sure.
A foul ball
I
over the
have
back.
no doubt that is exactly what would happen, you know? That one soars for Levitt. It'll move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. In my playing days, I've mostly played center field, so I have a little bit of affinity for Bennett Averett's position. But nowadays, it's as that one's another one that's a scare, a little bit of a scare for the dugout over there for Dixie. The other one worse because actually hopped into the dugout. This one they just hits the netting kind of by their feet.
Well, they're all up on their feet. They might all want to get a catcher's mask back there.
They really might. And there's probably only 2 of them.
Yeah.
This one a rocket out to left field. Averett put a nice charge into it, but good playing depth out there in left field by Yates, and he'll corral that in for out number 1.
The shortstop, Hayden Hyatt.
Brings up the Golden Eagles shortstop, Hayden Hyatt. And he'll watch that first pitch for a strike from Levitt. That one will miss. He'll leave up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the order, Colby Warren due up next here for the Golden Eagles. Again, inning number 3 of this one between the Flyers and the Golden Eagles. 1-0 score. Good cut there from Hyatt, but he will miss for strike 2. The Golden Eagles already with 2 games in this tournament underneath their belt, as that one will be a little bit low and outside. I'll leave up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 2 games under their belt, and in those 2 games, let's see, they held their opponents to 1 earned run. So pretty stout defense.
So
there.
yeah, you could see why Coach Thomas is impressed with his pitching. You know, if they've only allowed one earned run in those first 2 games, that tells you exactly what the strength of this ball club is going to be, which is what he said. Great starting pitching, and a lot of that starts with the guy that's on the mound here today for them, Chase Johnston, an absolute star on the mound. That one's going to be a little bit low there to Colby Warren. Again, his second at bat today. He grounded out to third in at bat number 1. And he's going to send this one high in the sky out into shallow right field. Play is going to be made over there by Zepp, and that will end the top of the third, a 1-2-3 inning for Logan Levitt. And then we'll move us on over to the bottom half of the third inning, which gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Lance Wilson State Farm.
And Triple T might be a big fan of a lot of people coming here pretty soon because they've been doing furnaces all winter, and time to turn around and do ACs all summer.
It's getting to that moment where it's starting to heat back up, and yeah, I've certainly am excited for that.
Yeah, you just never know about Easter in Utah County, because I've had Easters before where it's been like 85 degrees, and then other Easters where it's snowing. So
yep.
Always a mix-up.
You know what I would love is an Easter at, the mid-60s.
It's never going to happen.
But, one can only dream. But maybe one of these days it'll just be a nice, normal spring day. But as we're seeing Johnston warm up here for inning number 3, put up a 0 in the last inning. Got 3 strikeouts already. Again, looking every bit the part of the ace that he is so far this season. Just an absolute standout sophomore season from him. And I bet Coach Thomas is excited to have this kid for this year and for another year because he's been so fantastic for them.
Leading out for the Flyers, the right fielder, Isaac Zepp.
So it'll be 9-1-2 in the order for the Flyers. It'll start off with Isaac Zepp, who takes a swing at one that ends up in the dirt. So that'll be strike one to him. This may be the longest moment between pitches that I've seen all game long. So.
Well, yeah, usually this is par for the course, but we've just had such a good pace this game. It's actually been super nice.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting now. It's like Johnston deciding to maybe slow things down here, tick in inning number 3, just to maybe just do a change of pace and try and throw these batters off. Counts now 3-1 after another pitch kind of gets away there from Johnston. That one piped in there and fouled away by the Flyer right fielder.
Almost over onto the football field, which is being used as a soccer pitch right now.
Yeah, kind of fun how that happens. So 2-2 pitch upcoming to Zepp. Oh, it's going to just barely miss. So count now full. Top of the order, due up here afterwards for the Flyers, Boston Vest and Ridge Erickson. Johnston will step away off the mound, wipes his brow, and gets ready here for this payoff pitch. It's going to be a tick high. That'll be the first walk issued here by Johnston.
And the first pitch to get past Catterson.
Yes, also true. So leadoff walk here to start things off here in inning number 3 to Isaac Zepp, and it will bring up Boston Vest, who struck out in his first at bat.
The shortstop, Boston Vest.
Oh, decent move there by Johnston.
Yeah, I mean, Bartholomew was playing 4 feet off the plate, so it's just a mental game now to make sure he plays close to the plate, and anytime he wants to back up and maybe tag him, he can go for it, but he wasn't in any real danger there.
Pumps that one in there for strike one to Vest. And a lot of the base running game is more mental in some ways, you know. It's just the cat and mouse dance of how far away from the bag can I get? What kind of leadoff can I get? This is going to be a slow tapper that Johnston will grab. Fires a strike over to first base, and that will be out number 1. Does advance Zepp over to second. The high chopper made it so there really wasn't a play over there at second, so Johnston just gets the out over at first. So runner on second base with 1 out. In the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brings up number 2 hitter Ridge Erickson. Erickson with a single in his first at bat.
The high chopper. That's a aviator's term for the folks at home.
Oh, aviator term. Nice. They are playing the Flyers, so.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Yeah, so little pop up there to the second baseman. Good play made over there by Colby Warren for out number 2. Digging in now for the Flyers will be Braxton Yates, who struck out in his first at bat.
That's really the first action we get to see from Warren so far, but I'll tell you what, he's really synced up with Brain Catterson behind the plate. I just get to watch him practice that pop time and, you know, some passes back and forth, catches back and forth between the innings, and I'll tell you what, they're really synced up. I might be biting my words in a bit, but so far they've looked really sharp.
Yes. That one in there nicely for a strike. The count moves to 1-1 on Yates. Yates, one of those standouts from last year's team. That one is in there right at the letters for strike 2. Nice pitch there from Johnston. 1-2 count on Yates with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Runner in scoring position. Low end in the dirt. Nice job by Catterson to make sure that doesn't squirt away. Leaving up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Decent lead at, was a decent lead over there at second base by Zepp. Backed up a little bit. The 2-2 is in there for strike 3. He gets Yates looking. 4th strikeout of the day for Chase Johnson. Puts up yet another 0 on the scoreboard. It is still 1-0 here after 3 innings. We'll get you inning number 4 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 4 of this one between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers. A pitcher's duel here for you on Spanish Fork 17. It is Logan Levitt versus Chase Johnston. It has been exactly how it would be billed between 2 aces. The score 1-0. Both guys with 4 strikeouts so far on the day. Really the only difference here is that Maple Mountain has only gotten 1 hit and Dixie's gotten 2, and it just so happens that those 2 hits were strung together in that first inning. So the RBI double by Logan Levitt, the only scoring play in this game, and honestly, it could stay that way. Both pitchers really look locked in this one.
They absolutely do. When I talked to Coach Thomas before the game, he mentioned that their first game of the season is here in this same tournament. They played against Payson, and they had 20 hits in that game.
Yeah.
So we just need to start seeing some of that offense today.
The designated hitter, A.J. Thomas.
This is a good place to start. Batters 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup. A.J. Thomas, Cy Chrisman, and Logan Bringhurst. All guys that had excellent seasons last year. Thomas will take a healthy cut at that one, low and away for strike 1. That one pops the catcher's mitt nicely for strike 2. Three pitches, 3 strikes. That is about as efficient as it gets as a pitcher, as Thomas will go down looking. It'll be the second time that he struck out in this game, and out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
The first baseman, Cy Chrisman.
And Cy was another player that Coach talked about before the game. He's a senior. He's one of those players that Coach mentioned just kind of holds the team together. He's the glue of the team. And well, I was going to say something about his numbers, but I'm going to go ahead and bite my tongue and just let everyone enjoy that hit.
Absolutely. He's the only Maple Mountain player with a hit in this game, and he's got 2 of them. Hit that double in the first inning, and now a nice single out to left here in inning number 4. So a 1-out single for the big first baseman, and it'll bring up cleanup hitter Logan Bringhurst. Bringhurst grounded out to third in his first at-bat in this game. You'll watch a first pitch strike from Levitt. Good swing at that one, but nothing doing, as the count will now move to no balls and 2 strikes. That one in the dirt, scooped up nicely by Erickson. Count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, Erickson hasn't really had the toughest job I've ever seen a catcher have. He hasn't had to do a ton of framing. I mean, you've just been kind of sitting back there, letting them come in.
Yeah, it helps when you've got a guy like Levitt that's just pumping in the strikes. Don't really got to move the glove too much as that one is. Out of the way by Bringhurst, and he will run back over to the batter's box and dig back in with the count still 1-2. You know, we talked about how the first baseman can be an infielder's best friend, but a catcher very much so is a pitcher's best friend. The 1-2 swung on and missed by Bringhurst. It's going to be strikeout number 6 on the day for Logan Levitt, and it will bring up number 5 hitter Chase Johnston. Johnston struck out in at bat number 1. Love to see the Golden Eagles offense get ripped and roaring here in inning number 4. They do have Chrisman over there at first base. Johnston will watch a pitch inside for ball 1.
At the plate, the pitcher, Chase.
Now for the Flyers, Orton and Vest are just playing so far off second base. It's almost tempting. It's tantalizing to just make a dash over there, but I think they're just trying to play it safe here.
Yeah, and I think they understand who's over at first base. Chrisman's obviously a big power hitter. Probably not a guy that's you need to worry about too much.
Too light on the feet.
To take that stolen base opportunity as that one gets in the dirt. That would be the one situation where you'd probably see Chrisman make his way over to second, is if a ball gets well past Erickson. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Johnston with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. 1-0 ball game. Flyers with the lead over the Golden Eagles. A little tapper there by Johnston goes foul. They'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Levitt clean so far through 3 2/3, and he will keep it that way as all 3 outs here in the 4th inning via the strikeout. It'll be the 7th strikeout of this game for Logan Levitt. So clean through 4 innings, 7 strikeouts, only the 2 hits allowed, both of them off the bat of Cy Chrisman. And the score will stay 1-0 here at Flyer Field as we move on over to the bottom half of the 4th inning. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, go ahead and read those off for us.
We got 2 Jack's Pizza, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, MVP Sports, and Lance Wilson State Farm. See what I did there? Right to left.
You did right to left, so...
I think that's a Chinese thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what? We actually have a guy on the crew who could probably tell us that for sure.
For sure, yes.
He was giving us some Japanese and Chinese lessons yesterday.
Need to go ask Chris what order of operations needs to be done there in terms of reading things. Again, thank you for joining us today on the channel. Make sure that you join us for the broadcast later today. The Golden Eagles, there is a nice view of Chris, so he can give us all the language lessons that we need to make sure that we're reading things properly. But we do have another game coming at you here later today. It will be up against the Bear River Bears. That game will be at about 4:30 today. Kind of fun to relive the rivalry here. Again, Bear River, an old region rival, so fun to be able to have that experience. And so be sure to tune back in at around 4:30 p.m. to catch the second game here of the Golden Eagles here at the Dixie Sunshine Tournament.
I'll tell you what, Bear River Grizzlies sounds a lot better than Bear River Bears, right? Because you just look at that and you think, man, could you have been any more clever with your naming?
Yeah. At least you're giving us a type of
the Snake River Snakes or the Salt Lake Seagulls.
The Salt Lake Seagulls. Oh, don't give them any ideas for that new major league team in the
Stormin' Mormons.
Oh. Oh heavens, yes.
All right, I'll be quiet now.
Now it is fouled away by Logan Levitt. It's going to move the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Logan Levitt, Cooper Bartholomew, and Max Orton due up here in inning number 4. Batters 4, 5, and 6 in the order. for the Flyers. Just 3 base runners allowed here in this game for the Flyers. A hit by Ridge Erickson, so a single by Erickson, a double by Levitt, and then Zepp took a walk in the last inning. So again, a pretty solid and clean game here thus far for Chase Johnston, going toe-to-toe so far with Logan Levitt. The 1-2 is on a one-hop to Warren, who makes a nifty play over there at second base for out number 1.
And that is an excellent play with the one hop, caught it right in the stomach. And sometimes it's just really hard to judge where that ball is going to end up, if it's going to be 8 feet in the air and you're going to have to make the jump for it, or if it's going to be right at your feet. So just a heads-up play to read that one, and almost looked like he caught it in slow motion.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always so hard to read, and this is why infield and outfield training is so different. As an outfielder, my instinct more at that point is almost to be, can I run in and
right.
and try to get that on the fly, as opposed to letting it hit the ground. And so nice job there to make that read, let it hit. And
well, when you have 4 seconds of fly time versus half a second of fly time, then speaking of fly time,
speaking of fly time, this thing got absolute hang time out there out into left field, but Sawyer Leifson camps underneath that one and will make the play for out number 2.
I thought it was Leifson, like a how's it spelled?
So it's Leifson, and so I'm under the impression, if I remember correctly, that it is in fact Leifson.
L-E-I. So it's not German, because if it was German, it'd be Leifson.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, so it's
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. This one is grounded over to third. Bringhurst will make the play across the diamond, and that will be a 1-2-3 inning for Chase Johnston. So he puts up yet another 0 on the scoreboard, and the score is still 1-0 here after 4 innings. We'll get you inning number 5 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It is inning number 5 of this one between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers as part of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament. And it has, in fact, been all sunshine here today, and we are absolutely loving the rays here in beautiful St. George, Utah. You can smell the sunscreen, and it is a glorious thing to be out here at the ballpark and to be in a place where you can smell the sweet smell.
I thought you were going to say smell the sunshine.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
too,
you just breathe it in. You're just like, I can smell that vitamin D right now. But it is a 1-0 ball game here, an absolute pitcher's duel so far between Logan Levitt and Chase Johnston. Both have pitched 4 strong innings for their teams. For Logan Levitt, 4 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed. For Chase Johnston, 4 strikeouts, 2 hits, and a walk. And again, the only run of this game was off the bat of one of those pitchers, Logan Levitt, an RBI double in inning number 1. So digging in now for Spanish Fork is Braden Catterson. It will be Catterson, Giles, and Averett due up here in inning number 5. He will watch that first pitch in there for a strike.
You can hear the coach down in the dugout. Don't check that. Just swing on it.
Let rip, because
they need to let something rip here, because I mean they're almost kind of playing timid when they're up in the batter's box.
He takes a swing at that one for strike 3. That's now 3 straight Golden Eagles that have gone down on strikes. Strikeout number 8 on the day for Logan Levitt, and it will bring up Caden Giles, who struck out in his first at bat in inning number 2, so 0 for 1 on the day. He'll foul this one away, pop it up out into the parking lot, and it sounds like somebody got hit. Just seeing from the reaction of some of the people in the crowd, so somebody's car got a little dinged up.
Hopefully it's just a ding, not a windshield. We can't see because the production van is right behind us, but yeah, but judging by people's reaction, it doesn't look good.
Yes. Big swing there, and that will that's going to be strike 3. So second strikeout of the inning, and strikeout number 9 on the day for Logan Levitt, and that is the 4th straight Golden Eagle now that's gone down on strikes, and it will bring up the center fielder Bennett Averett, who hit one on a rope out to left field that was caught, so 0 for 1 on the day. And he rips one foul.
Now, how many Golden Eagles innings when they've been at bat has it been 3 and done?
It's basically been every inning other than the one that Cy Crispin has hit in. So that's going to be innings 2 and 3 were 3 up, 3 down, and then Crispin got a hit in inning number 1 and got a hit in inning number 4. Otherwise, everyone else has gotten out.
Wow.
So basically, Logan Levitt sees Cy Crispin come up, and he's like, "Oh shoot."
Yeah, when you say duel of the pitchers, you mean that.
Absolutely. Pop up there to second base, and that will be the end of the 5th inning as Averett will pop that thing up to, that's Orton over there for the Flyers. So 3 up, 3 down, and just an impressive outing here from Logan Levitt so far. The score stays 1-0 after the top of the 5th. As we move on over to the bottom half of the inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports.
Very nice.
Yeah, again, we like to have some variety here in the read, and so, you know, just this time it was back corner, top corner, back, and then back to the bottom left. So just trying to make things interesting, trying to make things lively here in between innings. As Johnston gets his warm-up pitches in here for inning number 5. Again, an awesome stat line so far from him so far. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, only the 2 hits and the 1 walk. He will be facing the bottom of the order for the Flyers. Trace Franco, James Lee, and Isaac Zepp. So batters 7, 8, and 9 in the Flyer lineup, coming up in inning number 5. As we're just cruising right along here in this ball game. It's only 12:30.
The Flyers have a nice school out here. I don't know how new it is, but the facility just looks really, really nice, really new.
Yeah, I don't know how new the building is either, but it does. It looks nice, and it looks even better when you've got the Red Rock vistas around as well.
Is that the middle school or the high school in front of us?
I believe the one that we are staring at might actually be the middle school. Actually, the high school is over here to our left. Also a nice facility.
Right.
And then of course we do have Utah Tech that's also close by as well.
I'll tell you what, the property taxes in St. George aren't skimping it.
They sure aren't. Again, they're absolutely beautiful out here. Warren makes the play over at short for out number 1 here in the 5th. I mean, you've also got the beautiful St. George Temple as well. That's really close by too. That's a nice, beautiful thing to look at too.
Oh,
so again, it's just
they even put a Top Golf in. Just one
they
exit
put in
over.
Top Golf.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's how you really know the property values are
Top
going
Golf and Target, and then all of a sudden they're through the roof.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's I think a Target is due to be in Vineyard here pretty soon, so that's the next thing for us. We just put in a Top Golf like probably about a year ago. So.
Oh, in Vineyard?
Yeah, in Vineyard.
It's been there like 5 years,
Has
4
it been there
years.
5
yeah,
years?
time flies.
Look,
I know.
I was in Pleasant Grove for a good while, so that is what happens. I leave and things just explode. That one in the dirt. Nice job by Catterson to eat that up. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike on Lee. Lee 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out in his first at bat. The 1-1 pitch from Johnston. They do appeal over to first base just to check. He says no, so the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. That one's a beauty. Just catches the lower outside part of the strike zone.
That's
Count moves to
super
2-2. Yeah, and that's a big weapon as a lefty to be able to place that low and outside against a righty. Just really not much that they're going to be able to do with that pitch. And then to match that with one up at the eyeballs for strike 3. That's beautiful sequencing there from Johnston. Be strikeout number 5 on the day for him.
Now Chase Johnston, he's a junior. So we get to see a little bit of him next year as well. But
absolutely.
Honestly, how he's looking right now, I think we're going to see pretty good things from him this year.
Oh, I mean, he was sensational his sophomore year. Oh, that one. That I don't feel like that curveball missed by much. So that'll be 1-0 now on Isaac Zepp.
Well, we're not the ones behind the plate, but
yeah, and to be fair, again, our vantage point, while much better than our vantage point from Snow Canyon yesterday, still not quite as ideal as it could be in terms of judging balls and strikes. But the count evens up at 1-1 after that particular one catches the outside part of the plate. That one's going to be a little low and inside, so 2 balls and 1 strike. Boston Vest due up next here for Dixie. Should Isaac Zepp find his way on base. The 2-1. That's a beautiful benda for strike 2.
And he could put this inning away right here. And I think they're playing the same format here. 7 innings. Right?
Yep, 7 innings. Oh, that curveball also doesn't miss by too much. It'll make the count now full on the number 9 hitter in the Flyer lineup.
Everyone down in the dugout thought that clipped the corner.
It was certainly close. No, to be fair, I felt like the one previously that got called a ball was a little bit closer than that one. So we'll live with that. Payoff pitch going to be tapped. Johnston will get to it, fire it over to first, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Chase Johnston. Puts up another 0, and we are still sitting at 1-0. What a pitcher's duel we've had here. We'll get you inning number 6 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It's inning number 6 of this one between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers, and we have been treated to a beautiful game here. 1-0. If you love pitching, that's exactly what you've gotten so far in this game. Logan Levitt, through 5 innings, has 9 strikeouts, has only allowed 2 hits, and really has just shut down a very good Maple Mountain lineup that's just absolutely pummeled Payson yesterday. And has just quieted these bats. But on the flip side of things, Chase Johnston's gone toe-to-toe with him, has also only allowed 2 hits, a walk, has 5 strikeouts through his 5 innings. The only blemish on his record, an RBI double by Logan Levitt in inning number 1. So it's just basically been, if you're a pitcher, you've contributed, or if you're Cy Chrisman, who's got 2 hits for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, without the stolen base, it'd be a different game right now.
Hyatt will square up for a bunt there, but tries to take a stab at it. Nothing doing, though. Strike 1. And he'll watch the second one get pumped in for yet another strike. The count now 0-2. Hyatt 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out looking in his first at-bat in the 3rd inning. And it's going to happen again as that pitch clips the outside part of the plate there for strike 3. That's the 10th strikeout on the day now for Logan Levitt.
Now, you talked about the pedigree of pitchers that have been through this program here for Dixie. And it doesn't seem like they're letting up anytime soon.
No, it's just a barrage of pitchers down here.
Yeah,
so it's pretty impressive.
As far as the coaching staff goes, you know, some people have contributed to bringing in the talent here, and when I say bringing in, I mean we all know what's really going on there. But Coach Jeremy Hill, he's been with the program 13 years, almost as long as Coach Ibsen. He hired him in his second year, and then Scott Vest as well. He's been there 13 years, and I believe he is related. I don't know if he's the father, but he's related to Boston Vest, who's the shortstop over there.
Man, that's well out in front of that particular pitch as the count leaving up now at 2-2 on Colby Warren. Yeah, 11th thrown 2 just absolutely nasty pitches here. Now make it a third one there as that just clips the inside part of the plate for yet another strikeout. So it's just been a dominant stretch here over the last couple innings for Logan Levitt.
A.J. Thomas.
He struck out 7 of the last 9 batters. Just absolutely crazy stuff as that one is in there for strike 1 to A.J. Thomas. That one will just barely miss, and it'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike.
We'll take it. Barely miss. Makes up for all the times it was barely in.
That's right. Thomas rolls this one over to short. The play will be made, and that will end the top of the 5th inning. It'll be yet another 1-2-3 inning for the Golden Eagles. Levitt again moving up his strikeout count now to 11 at this point, and the score stays 1-0 as we move on over to the bottom half of the 6th. It gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, run them off.
We got Lance Wilson State Farm, Two Jacks Pizza, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and MVP Sports. If you had to guess, which one of those sponsors do you think has been around the longest, been a part of the community the longest?
That's a really... That's a tough one.
It feels like Lance Wilson knows every single person in the community. He's a real community guy. But MVP Sports, I know they had their location on Main Street for a long time. They've actually moved now.
They have,
They're down by Cal Ranch. We're actually pulling up the exact location for you right now.
Yeah, so the location is 82 East, 900 North.
So they just opened up, and they also changed their logo. So a lot of changes for them. But yeah, they've been part of the community, it seems like, for a while. And they do. Oh, and as of 3 years ago, they have a new ownership. So it looks like they're just on the up and up in the world. So yeah, Triple T. It feels like they've been around for a while too. It's like I can't drive, you know, home and or to work and back home on the freeway without seeing a Triple T truck.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, we have great sponsors, and we appreciate what they do in the community, and of course what they do for us here at Spanish Fork 17, making these broadcasts possible. And I love the rebrand. The new logo for MVP Sports looks really dope. I'm a big fan of it. So leading things off here for the Flyers is the top of the order for them. Boston Vest. He'll be followed by Ridge Erickson and Braxton Yates. The first pitch will just barely miss there. 1 ball and no strikes. Boston Vest 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the first and hit a little chopper to the pitcher in inning number 3, and he'll take that particular pitch for strikes. So now a 1-1 count.
The fans are starting to chirp a little bit here and wake up.
This one lace is going to be off the glove of Chrisman, and nice hustle by Chase Johnston coming over from his pitcher position to get the put out over there at first base. That is beautiful fundamental baseball from Chase Johnston to be able to get that play.
Just a major heads up play by him. He kind of saw what was going on over there with the miss on the dive by the second baseman Chrisman. And just, a super heads-up play to get over there to hustle and beat the runner, too, at the same time. They have a pretty similar distance to travel over there to first base. So just excellent fundamental baseball, like you said.
Yeah, what was also what we'll get maybe even more under the radar on that play was that Chrisman got to it, and kind of popped it up in a way that
maybe not intentionally,
not
but it sure worked out.
But like
it
worked out nicely that way that he was able to pop it up, so the second baseman was able to make the play over there. And we've got a
baby was almost just
that was so
taken
close.
out. That was so close within like half a foot from a kid sitting over in a stroller. So
dang, yeah.
Well,
sometimes baseball can be dangerous.
Yes, it can. There's about that and the cross balls, and don't stand in the way of the javelin or the shot put. There's a couple sports for spectators.
You got another pop up here. Catterson will camp underneath it and make the play for out number 2.
Now, great play by Catterson, too. He recognized where the sun angle was coming in and got on the side where he's going to be looking in towards it instead of out towards it where it could have been lost in the sun.
Yeah, that's some very smart heads-up angling there, because it's already hard enough catching pop-ups as a catcher. It's just kind of a weird, awkward angle usually just in general, but then you also have to trying to think about where the sun is just kind of adds an extra layer, as that one is in there for strike 1 to Yates. Yates 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out both times he's been up. A little bit low there for ball 1. Gets a good swing on that one, but misses for strike 2. The count now 1-2 on Yates. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Johnston going toe-to-toe with Levitt. Again, just the 1 run allowed in inning number 1. 4 scoreless after that. And he gets Yates down again on strikes. Beautiful pitch there from Chase Johnston. It will be strikeout number 6 on the day for him, and it will be still a 1-0 ball game here on Spanish Fork 17. We will get you inning number 7 after this commercial break.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 7 of a beautiful pitcher's duel between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers. Logan Levitt and Chase Johnston both putting on a show on the mound. Logan Levitt, my goodness, I mean, 6 innings of shutout ball, 11 strikeouts, has only allowed 2 hits. Just been phenomenal on the mound. On the other side of things, Chase Johnston, 6 innings as well, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 walk, and has only allowed 1 run. That 1 run coming in the first inning. Otherwise, it's been zeros on the scoreboard all day long for both teams. And again, to me, this feels more like it's 2 pitchers that are just locked in. It hasn't been like I've not felt like either offense has been like just like straight awful. It's just been these pitchers are they're hitting their spots and just doing what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that both coaches pointed out before the game as a towering fly ball comes over into right field. Yeah, that's something that both coaches pointed out before the game. They were both extremely proud of their pitchers and just what they've done so far in the tournament and what they did in the previous years. So it's no surprise what we're seeing now. I think everything just comes down to here how Maple Mountain plays the mental game where they're, in a pretty precarious situation just hanging on by a thread.
There's some jeering from the Maple Mountain dugout as time was granted, but the pitcher was already kind of in motion. And I don't know, I think it worked out pretty well for the Golden Eagles as Logan Bringhurst brings them their third base hit of the day. A nice line drive out to center field, and we've got 1 runner on now with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning.
The pitcher, Chase.
Well, it's about time. That's what every Maple Mountain fan is thinking right now.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
and it came in the nick of time too.
Absolutely, and it's been Cy Chrisman so far as the only source of offense for Maple Mountain with both of the hits previously in this game. They are going to bring in a pinch runner for Bringhurst. It's number 3, Cole Erickson, that will come in to pinch run for Bringhurst. So Chase Johnston up now for Maple Mountain, has been sensational on the mound here today for them, hoping to help his cause out and able to be a part of hopefully sparking this Golden Eagles offense up to be able to get themselves on the scoreboard here in inning number 7. Puts a nice charge into that one, out into center field. Not a lot of movement needed there for Franco, and that will be out number 2.
Well, it all comes down to this.
So it'll be Braden Catterson up and needing to do something to extend this ball game out. The tying run over there at first base.
Well, they have generated some offense out of this inning. I think they've had more hits in this inning than the last 3 combined. So
they absolutely have. Again, the last hit was by Chrisman in the 4th inning.
Right. Wow.
So it had been a hot minute since there had even been a hit for the Golden Eagles, and before that it had been the 1st inning since they had had a hit. So again, just tip of the cap here to Logan Levitt, who's pitched an absolutely sensational ball game, and Catterson needing to do whatever he can do to get himself on base and keep this game going. Doing a nice job of being patient here with the count 2-0. Snap throw over to first to keep Erickson close over there at first base. The 2-0 from Levitt is swung on and tapped, and it looks like it kind of nicked the Flyer catcher. It's Erickson able to walk it off a little bit, and looks like he's fine.
Get him in the chin.
Kind of looks like he was kind of rubbing around the
collarbone.
Yeah, collarbone area, kind of left collarbone area.
Well, no worse for wear.
The 2-1 is rocketed out into center field. Looks like it's going to be up and over the head of Franco, and Erickson is going to be waved home, and that is going to tie this ball game up. A huge hit in the 7th inning by Braden Catterson.
Well, he's been great behind the plate all day, and when it really mattered the most, he delivered.
The RBI double by Braden Catterson ties this ball game up in the 7th inning. Again, it had been 6 2/3 of shutout ball for Logan Levitt, but with one sweet stroke out to center field, Braden Catterson gets the Golden Eagles on the board, and now the potential winning run for them.
And he's all smiles
out there
coming
on second
back
base.
to the dugout.
And he should be.
Yeah,
My goodness, yes. Hustle over to second base now. Go take a breather on the bench before you got to go potentially catch this last inning. So Caden Giles now digs in for the Golden Eagles with the game now tied up 1-1. They're going to throw it over to second. That is a disaster for the Flyers, as that thing almost got away enough that you almost...
I think they almost set it up that way. Yeah, you kind of just wonder in situations like that where the midfielder's coming in so tight to the center fielder's coming in so tight to midfield, to second base, and you wonder if they intentionally overthrew to try and get him to get a little
him
eager
into
and still
going to
still
third. Yeah, it'd be some pretty chess-like strategy.
A lot of theatrics go into something like that.
For sure. Tapped foul down that third base line. Another beautiful play made over there
by Coach.
Yep. That one was a little bit easier. That one had some slow roll to it.
Last one, Coach Thomas Scott had some velocity to it.
It did. The 1-2 is blasted out into left field. It is going to be down for a base hit. Walker's going to churn his way on home, and just like that, the Golden Eagles take the lead here in the 7th inning off of 2 RBI base hits from Catterson and from Giles.
Wow. I didn't have this one in the books.
Isn't baseball beautiful, folks? Again, we've just basically seen a pretty dormant Golden Eagle offense up to this point, other than 2 hits by Cy Crispin, and then the bats coming alive here in inning number 7. RBI double for Braden Catterson, then an RBI single there for Caden Giles, and just like that, 2-1 ball game. Golden Eagles with the lead now. Nice pitch there from Levitt, catches the outside part of the plate and moves the count to 1-1 on Bennett Averett. Averett 0 for 2 on the day. Watches another one. That will be outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And to do it all with 2 outs as well is the other kind of extra crazy part.
Right. It just came down to the thread, came down to the line. That one's just barely high.
Count now 3-1 on the Golden Eagles center fielder. Giles at first after the RBI single to bring in the leading run so far. Again, 2 runs coming across here in the top of the 7th inning to give the Golden Eagles the lead over the Dixie Flyers here in their 3rd game of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament. And Averett is going to take a walk. Nice patient approach from the Golden Eagles center fielder. So it's going to be runners on first and second. It's going to bring up their shortstop, Hayden Hyatt.
When was the last inning that Levitt walked a hitter? It's got to be, what was that, the second?
No, he hasn't walked anyone.
Oh, he's perfect for the day.
Yeah, he had not issued any walks up to that point. So really, it had been just commanding the strike zone. Anything that he wanted to do, he was doing through, essentially through 6 2/3 innings.
Wow.
Now they'll have a visit over at the mound to talk things over. And, Coach Thomas came out briefly from the dugout to talk some things over with the umpire. Looks like they are bringing in a pinch hitter here for Hayden Hyatt. That is number 7, Nash Ferguson.
Number 7, Nash Ferguson.
Well, let's see if he can shake the rust off and get the job done.
So Ferguson comes in to hit for Hyatt with a, again, kind of high situation here as they've taken the lead with the 2 runs here in the 7th inning, but hoping to do more damage here with runners on first and second. He does watch the first pitch go on the outside part of the plate for a strike.
And the question here, and they've been able to defend all day, but coming out and defending when the stakes are high, I mean, they haven't allowed a run since the first inning, so that's going to be the real big question. They're obviously up on the count here now, but the call will change in a matter of seconds when they flip over to the defensive side of the field.
The 0-2 is going to be just a tick high, so it'll move the count to 1-2. Again, it's different when you're playing from a lead or playing from behind. It's just kind of a different mentality, and so hopefully the Golden Eagles able to make the switch that they need to be able to hopefully hang on to this lead and get a big win down here in Dixie. This one's going to be lined over to second base. Nice play made over there by the Flyers second baseman. That's Orton. He'll make the play at second. That will end the inning, but not before the Golden Eagles are able to scratch across 2 runs and take the lead here in this 7th inning. So a 2-1 ball game between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 7th, we want to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports.
Yeah, like you talked about, there's a big mentality that's going to come into play right now because one team's going to be playing out of, I hate to say it, but it's really a fear. You know, you're playing like it's kind of your last hope, and the other team's playing with hope. They're playing with the upper edge. They play with the advantage. So the thing is, if the Golden Eagles do allow somebody to get on base or they, walk a hitter, then everything's going to change really quick. The mentality starts to shift and crumble, and it's already frail as is with only being up 1 run. So they just need to keep their heads in the game, fight through any mistakes that may occur, and then the Flyers, on the other hand, just need to not play with that scarcity mentality. Just go out there, play loose, and just know that at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Yeah, beautiful inning here for the Golden Eagles, retaking the lead They get 3 hits and a walk off of Logan Levitt, who before that had only allowed 2 hits to Cy Crispin all game long. All the other Golden Eagles had gone hitless in the game up to that point, and to finally break through here in inning number 7 is a big deal here for Maple Mountain, and could very easily come away with the win here in their first game here on Saturday, and get themselves set up for a nice matchup against Bear River later on today at around 4:30.
Well, everyone's eager and sitting on the edge of their seats, and Bear River's another Southern Utah team, correct? They're Southern Central.
Yeah, they're out of Garland, yeah.
Okay.
That one is going to just barely miss. So count will start at 1-0 on Logan Levitt. Levitt, the starter today for Dixie, but also the only guy with an RBI hit for them as well. Had that RBI double in the first.
And when you say that first pitch barely missed, you mean barely missed by 3 inches inside the strike zone?
Yeah, exactly my point. As they seem to think, yes, they were like, oh, come, like literally heard it from some of the Golden Eagles fans. Is like, come on out. So 2-0 count now on Levitt, and he's going to lace one out into right center. Averett will call him off and make the play for out number 1.
Great playing by Averett all day. Got on base there in the last inning, and then, you know, he was stranded over at first on his way to second, but at the same time he got on base, kept the momentum going their way, and then hasn't allowed any balls past him over in center field.
Yeah, it's been a nice solid day out there for Averett. Again, we highlighted him as a guy that he's a huge contributor on the basketball team as well. So a big 2-sport athlete. Always love seeing those dual sport athletes.
In colleges, love seeing those guys too.
Oh, love seeing them too. Yeah, absolutely. Johnston gets out number 1 here in the 7th, 2 outs away from securing victory here for the Golden Eagles in their first game today. Little check swing foul ball off the bat of Cooper Bartholomew for strike 1.
Bartholomew's just kicking himself in the butt right now, thinking, oh, why'd I go after that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he checked the swing knowing, I'm not going to be able to do much with that, and then still ends up getting a little piece of it. The 0-1 sent high in the sky. Giving chase out there is Leifson, who lays out for it and just comes up a little bit short. Almost ended up with a whole head of fence. Yes, no, that would have been unfortunate. He does look like he's okay, so that's what matters there. Great hustle from him, and the count will move to 0-2 after the foul ball.
Yeah, that ball had so much airtime under it. It took the one hop from a towering hit and then made it over the fence.
Yeah. Bartholomew 0 for 2 on the day. A couple flyouts, a flyout to center and a flyout to left.
He almost had 2 flyouts to left right there.
He almost did.
But then again, this isn't a game of almost, is it?
Yeah, almost only counts as what the saying, the horseshoes, hand grenades, and yeah, not so much in baseball. A little bit low and outside. We'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Max Orton due up next for the Flyers, and they are needing a run here in this inning to keep the ball game going. Again, we are playing tournament rules here, so it is 7 innings. And absolutely freezes him up with a beautiful curveball for strike 3, 1 out away.
Curveball didn't have the most movement on it of any curveball I've seen, but it was just barely teasing the corner enough that he just decided not to go after it. And sometimes that's the most deadly ones, because other curveballs you see and you think, oh, so much movement, it's going to drop out of the zone. I mean, really in that amount of time, it's hard to even think about it that complex. You just have a fill-in for it and swing if it's good.
And he decided to hold off and pays the price for it with strikeout number 7 on the day for Chase Johnston. Down to their last out, it is Max Orton, and he will watch strike 1. That has been a big theme for Johnston. He's really just gotten out early on these guys with these first pitch strikes. Another beautiful curveball right down the pipe for strike 2. Golden Eagles 1 strike away from getting victory here against the
Well, just think, just a bit ago, they were almost in this exact same situation before mounting a comeback. So,
holds up on it and just barely misses for ball one. Again, according to the Golden Eagle contingency, it did not miss. But
well, they wouldn't be fans if they thought otherwise.
Exactly.
Right? It could be 8 feet out the strike zone, and
the 1-2 is sprayed out into right field, and it will be just barely fair. Extra bases for Orton. He is going to hold up at second base. A big 2-out double for the Flyers off the bat of Max Orton, who's able to just barely keep that thing on the fair part of that first base line.
Well, you felt every single player over in the Flyers dugout, all of a sudden that he just gave them a breath of life in a small measure, and they absolutely needed it. And then same thing for these Maple Mountain fans over here. All of them sat back and rested their chin on their hand and thought, man, can we just close this out, please?
It was just so close, and obviously this is a good moment here for Coach Thomas to come out and talk things over with his ace pitcher, Chase Johnston, and just make sure that he's got a good game plan here for Trace Franco to get them out of this ball game, come away with the win in their first game here. Again, we will be doing the Bear River game at about 4:30 p.m., but need to take care of business here against the Flyers and secure the W against the host team here of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament. And I like this move as well. I think sometimes some coaches are a little too quick to yank their guy in a situation like this. I like that they're sticking with their
solid
ace.
All game, yeah. Win by him, lose by him, live by him, die by him. I like the mentality.
A little bit high for ball one to Trace Franco.
Now, everyone, make sure you stick around for after the game. We're going to have some analysis and also announce our MVP Sports MVP of the game. And I have a pretty good idea of who it's going to be. But only time will tell. Yeah. If you haven't figured out by now, then welcome to the sport of baseball, right?
Yes, yes. It should be a fairly obvious choice here for our MVP, but we'll run it for you after the game, just so you know who it's going to be. But the count 1-1 now on Franco. He's going to foul it away, and Maple Mountain once again just a strike away from victory here in this early afternoon matchup between the Flyers.
The crowd waits with bated breath. Actually, I take that back. Everyone's very vocal right now.
Very vocal right now. The 1-2 fouled away again. Franco will stay alive and will keep the count at 1-2.
And that thread is getting very, very thin.
Getting down to the last few fibers. Runner on second, representing the tying run in this ball game. Another 1-2 pitch is off the glove of Johnston, and it squeaks out into the outfield. That is such a tough break for the Golden Eagles. That is going to score the run from second base. Orton will make his way on home, and that will end up as an RBI single for Trace Franco, and that ties this ball game up at 2. Man, they just literally a few inches away from that one being gloved by Johnston and just ending the ball game.
So if you're Johnston, you're trying to catch it. It's just a tough catch to make on the run like that and then get it over to first base. Do you let it go through to a shortstop Haya, or do you think you make the same play there?
It's hard to know. And that's the thing is, and it's so reactionary, especially as the pitcher, because it's such a short distance between you and the batter, and so you only have like this blink of a second to really kind of think about those things. And so Johnston thought he had a beat on it and could potentially make the play. And so I don't, as a pitcher, that's probably what I would have done. And it's just unfortunate that it bounced in such a way that Warren was already kind of dragging his way over to second base just to cover. And because he was going towards second, his momentum was at such a place that there was no way he was getting to that ball before it went out to the outfield.
Right. I'm with you 100%. It's very reactionary, and I don't think anybody looks at that. If that does end up making the difference here, that could have been the game winner, and now it could potentially turn out to be the thing that made all the difference. So now with this being a 7-inning game, if we saw yesterday, the format is set up in such a way that they can be tied at the end of the game. So Maple Mountain's not playing to win here. They're just playing to walk away with it as a tie.
At this point, we want, that's trying to just walk away with this thing as a 2-2 tie. Now, to be fair, I'm not fully sure, just because this game has absolutely cruised. In theory, there probably is enough time, I put it quotation marks, time on the clock, that they maybe could squeeze in an 8th inning, but just to make sure that they are staying on track, I wouldn't be shocked if they do go ahead and call this one after 7.
Well, either way, there's still a lot at stake. Right?
There is, absolutely. Again, like a tie is certainly better than a loss on the record books. And you just feel a little bit better about yourself, coming in and playing the host team, who's a dominant program down here in St. George, and to come away as 2-2, and Logan Levitt was so good in this game, and just to be able to have put 2 runs across on him in that last inning, big deal for the for the Golden Eagle offense too. So yeah, lots of good takeaways here from this game, even if it does end up not being in the win column for Maple Mountain, as the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. James Lee at the plate for the Flyers, with the potential winning run over there at first base. Sprays it foul, and that one, a watch out moment.
Hey, here's a taste of your own medicine, right?
Yeah, sprays that thing right over towards the Maple Mountain dugout. So Franco on first after the RBI single that scores Max Orton to tie this ball game up in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-2 between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers. Lee digs back in with the count 2-2. Johnson with another throw over to first. Franco pretty easily reads that one, just made his way back on over. And we'll reset things.
Yeah.
Yes, it was pretty nonchalant over there. The 2-2 is a curveball that's going to freeze up Lee the 3rd time he goes down on strikes in this ball game, and that is going to be the end of the 7th inning. And I'm waiting for an announcement here, as it looks like we've got
Dixie 2, Maple Mountain 2.
Looks like there is going to be a little bit of a talk between head coaches here, just to see what the plan is. Again, after 7, there is an option to just go ahead and wrap this thing up. It looks like, from the looks of things, we are going to go ahead and go on for an 8th inning. So this thing is all tied up 2-2, and we'll get you the 8th inning when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport: paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year, so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. It is extra innings in this one between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers. A very unusual thing in a tournament game. Usually there's not enough time to have an 8th inning, but with this one cruising as fast as it has, there is time for an 8th inning. So ball game is tied up 2-2, and we get things lined up here with strike 1 to Colby Warren in his 4th at-bat of the game. Warren is 0 for 3 so far. He watches a pitch go low and outside, so evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. He's grounded out to 3rd, flied out to right, and his struck out, as this one's going to be tapped over towards the Flyer dugout. It'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Everything now just has a different gravity to it. It's all mission critical.
Sent up the middle. Play is made over at second base by Orton. That will be out number 1 in the top of the 8th.
That was the right play by Eleventh there. He looked at it for just a second and thought about hopping over and making the catch, but that's what we were talking about just in the last inning. It's so reactionary, and he probably wouldn't have made it over quite in time to make a quality catch, so he just lets it go on through to, was that Zepp who came in from the outfield?
No, it should have been Orton making the play there,
right,
just over at second base. Fly out to left field, and the play will be made by Yates, and that's going to be 2 quick outs here in the top of the 8th. It does bring up the hottest bat in the lineup, Cy Crispin, 2 for 3 on the day, a single, a double. The double in the first, a single in the fourth. Flew out to right in his last at bat in the 7th. But up with 2 outs and hoping to find his way on base and keep things alive here for the Golden Eagles. He absolutely rips one down the third base line, but foul.
Well, that's what we're looking for. Contact.
Yeah, and beautiful, solid contact, just a little bit ahead of it. So 7 2/3 for Logan Levitt. Again, put up a whole bunch of goose eggs on the scoreboard, allowed 1 run, allowed both runs in the 7th inning. Had otherwise been pitching a shutout. That one in for a strike on Crispin. Moves the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
One interesting thing about Crispin, he's the only batter that I've seen who doesn't use batting gloves. Some people still like to feel the rip, you know, they like to feel the bat underneath their hands, but it's interesting.
It is. It's unique. That. It's unique these days. You just don't see it a ton, so it's kind of fun when you see a guy that's more old school with the no gloves approach as he finds his way right in between the third baseman and shortstop. 3rd hit of the day for Cy Crispin. Have yourself a ball game, sir. 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double for the big first baseman. And Maple Mountain keeps things alive here in this 8th inning with Crispin getting on at first, and now the designated hitter Logan Bringhurst, who started things off for them in the 7th inning with that 2-out single. My apologies, one out single, and then ended up being the run that ties the ball game in that 7th inning. We do have a speed-up runner that came in for Crispin. It's number 5, Cale Collymore coming in to pinch run.
You think he likes his green veggies?
Probably. He should, at least.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with some spinach or kale.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've looked at Popeye. I mean, if you can if you can look like that with just eating spinach, I don't know. I think I should be eating more spinach.
Probably both should. The Maple Mountain dugout's coming alive here.
The 0-1 is sent over to first, not even needing to basically move on the play. Bartholomew snags that, taps first base, and that will be the end of the top of the 8th inning. Just the 1 run, not the 1 run, the 1 hit for Cy Crispin. Now 3 for 4 on the day, but is left over there at first base. So the ball game stays tied here 2-2. As we move on over to the bottom half of the 8th inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, take it away.
We'd like to thank Triple T, Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm.
We do have a pitching change here for the Golden Eagles. So
bringing in their midfielder.
Yep, it's a solid effort from Chase Johnson, who gets through 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, having allowed 2 runs. But they do bring in, as Coach T was saying, their center fielder, Bennett Averett, coming in to relieve Chase Johnston after 7 quality innings.
Well, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but his older brother did play pitcher for the UVU Wolverines, and he's now one of the pitching coaches on the staff. So hopefully he's an asset, and we see some of what he gave to Maple Mountain all those years ago, and his younger brother here.
Yeah, the Averetts are a great family, and one that has been a solid pipeline for this team for several years. So with that move, Averett will move to the mound. Johnston will stay in as... Actually, he will not. Johnston will they do remove Johnston from the game with Thomas as the designated hitter in the game. And so we do have a new center fielder out there. That's number 32. So they've moved Caden Giles. They've moved Caden Giles out to center field. And let's see, we got number 17. So Johnston is out in, so he's not come out of the ball game. They just moved him out to right field. So Johnston out in right, Giles in center, Averett on the mound, and we are now all squared up and ready to go here for the bottom of the eighth inning.
Just a little clockwise rotation there.
Yeah, just to kind of shift things over a little bit. Nothing doing. Averett will miss just a little bit outside for ball one to Isaac Zepp. So 9, 1, and 2 in the order here for the Flyers. Zepp, Vest, and Erickson. And another pitch that will miss, so the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Zepp on the day 0 for 1. He took a walk in the 3rd and grounded out in the 5th. A strike in there. Excellent execution as the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Great changeup. He brought the speed down just enough that he thought it was just going to go low and just barely clips the bottom of the strike zone.
Gets a nice swing and miss there for strike 2.
Seen a fastball, changeup, curveball. It's going to be a mystery what happens next.
The 2-2 will miss just a tick low. It'll move the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. You know, sometimes there's some mystery to, only throwing, 1 or 2 of your pitches in an at-bat, but there is also something to be said about mixing it up enough that it's like, well, I've got 3 or 4 pitches I could throw at you. What am I going to do? And that's what he did there. Pulls the string with the changeup for strike 3.
Mm-hmm. And the changeup was low and to the outside, but just close enough that he thought he could get a bat on it and drew a nice swing there.
Top of the order now for the Flyers. Boston Vest will dig in for Dixie. 0 for 3 on the day. A strikeout and 2 groundouts.
The shortstop, Boston Vest.
A little bit low there on that one as it touches dirt for ball 1.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of action from Vest over at shortstop, but he was the very first player that the Flyers coach mentioned before the game, Coach Danny Epson. I said, who's some players that are noteworthy? And the very first thing he said, Vest, excuse me, he does a lot for us, so.
Yeah, Vest is pretty awesome. Again, he is a standout player from last year, was an all-state contributor down here in 4A, and again, comes from a very strong pipeline as a Vest. And
was he first team All-State?
He was first team All-State last year. Yeah. Looks like that one just barely misses. Counts now 3-1. And play short. Will pitch as well. Quality player here for the Flyers. The 3-1 is in there for a strike. That's a nice one for Averett. Full count now to the star shortstop for Dixie.
Averett doesn't quite have the same velocity, but I'll tell you, he finds other ways to get it in there.
Payoff pitch to Vest. He gets the swing and miss. Excellent pitch there from Bennett Averett. 2 straight strikeouts here in the bottom of the 8th inning. See a couple of bowing up actions there from infield and outfield. Love to see that. Love to see the support for their guy. And 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and digging in now for the Flyers is Braxton Yates.
The catcher, number 28, Rich.
Oh, my apologies. I'm a little bit ahead of myself here. That is Rich Erickson. I should have known because I was like, wait a second, Yates is a lefty. What's going on here? So yeah, it's definitely Ridge Erickson.
Some batters do that.
I mean, sure.
He's not one of them, though.
He's not one of them. No.
It's always discombobulating for a pitcher when between every single pitch you switch sides of the plate.
That one takes Erickson to a knee. Does foul it away, though, so it'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Erickson 1 for 3 on the day. He hit a single in the first inning. Ended up scoring on that Logan Levitt double. And that's going to just barely miss. That one a nice pitch there from Averett, but it goes the way of the Flyers. Count moves to 2-1. That one, though, gets pumped in for a strike. Love to see that. Just the confidence of basically going back to the exact same spot, but locating it a little bit nicer for that second strike. Waves off the initial sign. Let's see what he decides to go with here on a 2-2 count. Decides to go with the heat low and inside, but will miss. It's another full count here. It's every single batter in this in this inning has been a full count.
Likes to play it close to the chest.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's worked so far as he's gotten 2 strikeouts in the inning. The payoff pitch will be low and outside, and that will be a 2-out walk issued to Ridge Erickson. So a runner on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That represents the winning run here in this ball game. And now digging in here is Braxton Yates. It has been the lefty, you know, and
knew he'd come around.
It's been a rough ball game here for Braxton Yates. He's struck out all 3 times he's come up. Struck out in the 1st, 3rd, and 6th innings. That one will miss for ball 1. Logan Levitt due up next for the Flyers. Should Yates find his way on base? This one is fouled away. Bringhurst will give a little bit of chase, but definitely up and out of play.
Ends over there on the batting cages.
Count moves to 1-1. So again, extra innings here on Spanish Fork 17. Inning number 8 of a 2-2 game between the Flyers and the Golden Eagles as part of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament. The 1-1 pitch up coming from Averett. Runner is going. Nice throw! And just a tick late, according to the infield umpire. Man, had a pretty nice view of that one, but
yes, he did. But
man,
at the same time,
I'd kind
of like to see a replay.
I would love a replay because, man, I thought Warren had the tag down quick enough that one felt like that one wasn't out. But he does get the swing and miss from Braxton Yates, so the count does move to 1-2, and I guess a good job there by Erickson to get, I guess, just a little bit quick enough. And then just, oh man, another one that's going to just barely miss on that outside part of the plate. And hearing some serious cheers from the Golden Eagles side of things, as they've now just felt like they've got 2 calls that haven't gone their way.
Well, whenever there's 2 calls that don't go their way, there's always a makeup call soon to follow.
We'll just see if
it's too little, too late.
The 2-2 swung on and tapped foul. Count will stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. The winning run for the Flyers over there at second base now after the stolen base by Erickson and the 2-out walk. So a base hit here by Yates makes this really interesting. The 2-2, Averett blows it past him for strike 3. Averett comes in, gets 3 strikeouts, is able to strand the runner over there at second base. So they get through 8 innings, and it is all tied up here 2-2. And it looks like the Flyers are running out into the field. And so I do believe that we are going to have a 9th inning here. So we are going to
home field advantage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They make their own rules.
So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll get you inning number 9 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 9 of this one between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers. Some extra innings baseball for you here in the afternoon game as part of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament in beautiful St. George, Utah. It has been all sunshine today, absolutely gorgeous, and what a fun ball game we've had here on Spanish Fork 17. Just a crazy pitchers duel through the first 6 innings. Logan Levitt and Chase Johnson going toe-to-toe. One run in the first inning for the Flyers, and then goose eggs until the 7th inning. The Golden Eagles able to get 2 runs in the 7th, but then Dixie ties it up in the bottom half of the inning, and then another scoreless inning in the 8th leads us now to this 9th inning, and Logan Levitt pitched 8 innings of really good ball for the Flyers, and they have a new pitcher on the mound. That is number 7, and give me just a quick second to let you know who that is. I believe it's Boston Vest, actually. So Boston Vest comes in to relieve Logan Levitt, which means that there is a new shortstop out there.
Well, every shortstop makes for a good pitcher.
It's number 19. So I believe that they've moved James Lee over to, so James Lee moves over to short from second.
So who's the second?
Oh, from third, my apologies.
Or third, yeah.
So he
we're
moves
just
from third, and
now.
then we've got a new third baseman then. That is Levitt. And so kind of a similar shift to what Maple Mountain did with Averitt coming in. Instead, this is a
pitcher to second to shortstop
comes in
to pitcher.
For pitcher. Third baseman shifts over to short, and then pitcher moves over to third base. So we've got it all squared up here.
Well, this game's been really fun for a while there. For whatever reason, even though it was just a 1-score lead, it really felt like the Aviators had a commanding lead on this game. And Maple Mountain did an excellent job of, just defending it, especially because they're here in unfamiliar territory. Of course, it's beautiful and ice-filled, and you're just happy to play on any good field. But at the same time, you're playing against the team that has the home advantage, and they've just definitely stood up to kind of the expectations that everyone has on them for this season.
Johnston is going to look at a pitch a little bit high in the zone, but will be called a strike. So 0-1 on Johnston. 0 for 3 on the day, 2 strikeouts and a line out. And we'll watch another one. This one will be just a tick outside. He was up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 7 solid innings today from Chase Johnston. Puts a charge into this one, out into left field. Nice read out there from the left fielder. That's Yates, who was in pretty much perfect position to make a play on that one.
He has a lot of ground to cover out there.
He sure does. And again, you don't always expect an opposite field hit from a lefty, and he just really read that quite nicely just from the get-go and was just positioned perfectly to make the play there. And so that's going to be a first pitch strike on Braden Catterson, who delivered the big tying hit in this ball game, an RBI double in that 7th inning. We'll watch another one for strike 2. Watch that one go in the dirt. Move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Vest does not disappoint, does he?
He sure doesn't. He's just pretty much solid at whatever he does.
Right.
The 1-2 did not miss by too much there, as that'll move the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Catterson is 1 for 3 on the day with that RBI double. Grounded out and struck out in his previous 2 at-bats, and he will call for time.
Everyone wanted a balk there, but he called for time.
Yeah, he called for time.
Well before he stepped out of his windup.
Yeah, that's going to punch out Catterson. That's a great pitch from Vest. It'll be his first strikeout. It'll be out number 2 here in inning number 9.
Well, if there's a guy to get things going, this is him.
Yep, Caden Giles, who had the RBI single in the 7th inning that gave Maple Mountain the lead there in inning number 7 before the Flyers were able to tie it back up in the bottom half of the inning. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He struck out twice before getting that single. He's going to watch that first pitch for a ball. Going to cue shot that one kind of over towards Averett in the on-deck circle. Now be 1 ball and 1 strike. And a really fun vibe and atmosphere today here at Flyer Field, and love the Maple Mountain contingent that's here in the stands. A lot of good support for this Golden Eagle squad.
I almost want to say that there's more fans for the away team than the home team, which isn't something you see a lot.
Is crazy, given that, again, this is at Flyer Field. And so, count now 2-2 on Giles. He swings through that one for strike 3. A nice pitch from Boston Best. He gets 2 strikeouts in his inning of relief of Logan Levitt. And that will be the end of the top of the 9th as the Golden Eagles go down 1-2-3. And as we head on over to the bottom half of the inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today on the channel and on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. We hope that it's been a fun ball game for you. And if you're watching on the YouTube page, be sure to click that subscribe button to join our Spanish Fork 17 family. Lots of great content on there for you to view, and lots of great high school sports on there as well, Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork both. And so be sure to click that subscribe button at youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Another inning of work here for Bennett Averett, hoping to keep this ball game tied up after Boston Best came in relief there in the top half of the inning for Logan Levitt. A lot of fun drama here in this particular ball game. We were treated to a pitcher's duel through most of this game. Logan Levitt versus Chase Johnston. Maple Mountain finally kind of broke through there in that 7th inning to take the lead, and then the dramatics of seeing the game get tied up on a play that Johnston was oh so close to making, but goes off his glove and squirts out into the outfield, and then just both teams just going right back at it with it tied up. Both squads have produced solid 0 innings, as all the pitchers that have come in have done a nice job and basically done exactly what Johnston and Levitt were doing throughout this whole game. So it's just been a fun ball game between really two impressive programs.
Absolutely. If I would describe it as if a ball goes out and totally rails somebody's car over there in the parking lot, gold minivan, you probably have a big dent in your roof now. Sorry to break it to you, but if I were to explain this as
at least it wasn't your window.
Yeah, at least it wasn't your window. You know, as far as this game goes, all the momentum felt like it was going towards the Aviators, and then all of a sudden the floor just fell out from underneath them.
As Levitt rips one right underneath the glove of Warren for a leadoff single to start things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Just kind of finds the right spot, and Warren, yeah, just not able to quite get to that one to make a play on it. They do bring in a pinch runner for Levitt. It's number 12. So, leadoff single for Logan Levitt to get things rolling here in the bottom of the 9th for the Flyers. That is going to bring up their number 5 hitter, Cooper Bartholomew. Bartholomew's 0 for 3 on the day. He's hit a couple fly balls and has struck out. The bunt is on for Dixie, and oh, that's an easy throw there to second base. Nice job.
You hear the jeering there from the crowd.
They love the different result. Yes, they certainly love that this one was in fact an out, whereas the other one they thought was also an out ended up being safe. So Catterson is able to gun down Levitt. Well, not Levitt, but the pinch runner number 12 over at second base. And the count is 0-2 on Bartholomew. And he's going to lace one out into right field. The play will be made by Johnston, and now 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, there's a different flair that comes from an out being made with a strikeout and an out being made with a catch in the outfield. But so you're hoping that Averett puts away the game with out on strikes here.
Yeah, that would be nice, just to put a nice little exclamation point on this ball game for the Golden Eagles. Right, just a nice little the
little umph, the little bow.
Yes. And again, you also love it for the defensive side of things. Being able to get that throw out at second base is also a really big deal. As that one is fouled away, and it will land harmlessly, thankfully, amongst the kids playing over here down by the first base fence.
Yeah, that's been the danger zone earlier. That's where
it really has. That's the one where it was so close to getting the one in the stroller, and then a few cars have been dinged up over in that area.
Yeah, it's almost more dangerous to park back behind the field, the diamond here, than it is to park in the outfield. No homers have been hit this game.
Now I'm kind of feeling silly that I moved my car over to that parking lot. That one is pumped in for a strike to Max Orton. I had been parked well beyond the football field and was like, it feels like too far of a walk. So I brought my car over to this lot over here, and I'm like, kind of biting my fingers for my life as the play is going to be made by Chrisman. He'll glove it and make his way over to first base, and that will be the end of the 9th inning. And this ball game is still tied up.
Well, the Flyers look like they're trying to take the
and that's what I'm seeing is field. It looks like the Flyers are flying onto the field here. So I'm waiting for anything from an umpire or anything, but it looks like we're going to keep rolling here. So we will get you inning number 10 when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. We are in inning number 10. Yes, you heard right. Inning number 10 of this one between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers. It has been a long game here, but it has been an absolute fun one here at the Dixie Sunshine Tournament. The Golden Eagles playing the host Flyer team, and it's been a very dramatic back and forth game for both teams. Beautiful pitcher's duel between Johnston and Levitt that was all knotted up after 7, and it's just been 0 after 0 after 0 after 0 here in extra innings. So we are here in the top of the 10th inning, and Boston Vest getting his warm-ups in here for his second inning of work after Logan Levitt worked 8 innings of 2-run ball, ended up striking out 11. Boston Vest comes in and strikes out 2 in his inning of work, and he will be dealing with the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the Golden Eagle lineup. Bennett Averett striding in here for the Golden Eagles. He will watch the first pitch go into the dirt for ball 1. Does look like they have Hayden Hyatt in the on-deck circle. They did pinch hit for him in the last inning. Not the last inning, but for his last at bat. But that looks like he will be hitting there, as that pitch to Averett was a strike, so the count moves to 1-1. That one up right around the letters, but is called a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Averett on the day 0 for 2. A line drive, a pop-up, and walked in the 7th inning.
I'm just realizing right over the left field wall, there is a bus that is parked parallel with the left field wall, and if anybody clears that, there's, you know, probably 15 nice glass windows that are facing, so I'm sure somebody would love to put one of those windows out.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure who the bus driver was that decided to park in that position, but
yeah, seems like a bit of a curious decision, as Averett will get his second walk of the ball game, and he'll head on over to first with the leadoff walk here in the top half of the 10th inning. And yeah, if I'm a right-handed batter, I'm looking at that and licking my chops and thinking, ooh, what can I do to charge one out there and to potentially make a little ding or a little break on that
It's not that people haven't tried, but I'd like to see if we sat here all day, which the way this game's going, we might end up sitting here all day.
There is at least a possibility of that.
If somebody puts one of those windows out.
So Hayden Hyatt gets himself all ready here for at-bat number 3. He struck out twice in this ball game. He's going to square for a bunt and he's going to pop it up to the netting behind the plate for strike 1. Averett represents the potential winning run, leading run for the Golden Eagles, and certainly he's got some wheels. Hayden squares up for a bunt again, and it's a nearly perfect one, but it just goes foul right at the end there. Just enough spin on it for it to get into foul territory.
Unfortunate change of events.
Yeah, because he put it pretty nicely down first base line. Certainly would have advanced Averett.
Well, it would have advanced him too.
Yeah, it looked like it was potentially going to be end up being an infield single.
Right, exactly. By the time it rolled over the line, he was almost already stepping on first.
The 0-2. He's going to take a swing at that one and miss for strike 3. So it'll be the first out of the inning and third strikeout for Boston Vest. Top of the order back up now for the Golden Eagles, Colby Warren. 0 for 4 on the day, a couple ground outs, a fly out, and a strikeout. Now watch the first pitch tickle the outside part of the strike zone for strike 1. Averett at first after the leadoff walk. Takes a big cut at that one for strike 2, and a nice throw by Erickson. Just a tick late though, as Averett, again, not quite far enough off the bag to have been thrown off there, but the count moves to 0-2 on Warren.
But like you said, really just a tick late. I mean,
it was close.
Yeah.
It was a nice throw by Erickson. Another move over to first. One out here in the top of the 10th inning. 2-2 ball game between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers. Feels like the game that never ends, as an 0-2 pitch comes here to Warren. Gets down to it, hits it, and it's going to be an unassisted double play essentially there for the shortstop. Again, that is, let me apologize, it normally would be Vest, but that is
3 on the double play to end the inning.
Lee, who moved over to shortstop. So
That's
Lee
right.
scoops it up, hits second, throws it over to first, and gets the 2 outs there. So Warren grounds into the double play to end the top half of the 10th inning. The score stays tied at 2-2. While we have some time between innings, we'd like to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. Coach T, take it away.
We'd like to thank Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm, and 2 Jacks Pizza. That's the 10th time, well, 11th time now we've said that
11th
today.
time that we've read the reader.
Our sponsors are getting a lot of love, which is well-deserved because they give us a lot of love and help over here at Spanish Fork 17 making these productions possible.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate them.
Yes, they do great work for us. Also doing some great work on the mound today is Bennett Averett, who's gone through 2 scoreless innings on the mound so far for Maple Mountain, coming in now for a 3rd one, again in relief of Chase Johnston, who pitched an excellent ball game here for Maple Mountain. 7 innings in total for the ace lefty, just the 2 runs allowed, 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 7th. And Averett tasked to once again keep it scoreless for Maple Mountain, and who knows, maybe we get an 11th inning. I don't know. It kind of just feels like, is it happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it happens, and we go to a break, and we come back for another inning of baseball.
Well, the Springville baseball team's laying here on the ground hoping that it doesn't happen.
I'm pretty sure that's Bear River over there.
Is it?
And so
they're playing the doubleheader next.
Yeah, Bear River. I think Bear River will be playing Springville, and then we'll be playing us. And that's a nice pitch from Averett for strike 1 to Trace Franco. Franco with the big hit in the 7th inning for the Flyers, the RBI single that brought in that tying run in the 7th inning. He will check swing on that one, but it will be a called strike. So 0-2 now on the Flyers center fielder. And I like the sequencing there from Averett, going with the high fastball there, and Franco gets just a piece of that one to stay alive. And the 0-2 sent out into right field. Johnston gets under it, and that will be out number 1.
Johnston doing great things on the mound for the first, the greater part of this game, and then great things over in right field. And I think that he's just one of those players that you look at and you don't think he's going to err very often. You know, he had that one that was just off his mitt that could have ended the game, but I don't think anybody really blames him for the fact that happened. That's just a hard call to make in the moment.
Yeah, and that certainly would have been that was ruled an infield single, and so I mean that was just a tough play that just happened to be in a place where he couldn't really truly make the play on it. In the dirt and past Catterson, but collects it, throws it on over. It'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike for James Lee. Lee has struck out all 3 times he has come up to the plate today. He will call time. A strikeout in the 2nd, 5th, and 7th innings. Certainly hoping for something different here in at bat number 4. And that will be in there for strike 2. That's a nice pitch right on the outside for Averett. The 1-2. Hit over to third. Bringhurst will make the throw across the diamond, and that will be out number 2.
We talk about the shortstop and what they have to do sometimes making those throws off balance, not really able to get their feet under them. And we don't think about the third baseman who sometimes has to make the longest throws, and there's a different level of difficulty just trying to be that accurate down to, I mean, you really don't have that much margin for error when you're making that throw across the diamond, so just a great heads-up play there. Oh
yeah, third basemen definitely don't get their due, and there's a reason why. I mean, they talk about, shortstops being, some of the most talented guys on the field, but you look at the major leagues these days, and a lot of the best players play third base.
Yep.
And they're like all just sensational fielders, as that one's going to be a one-hopper to Warren. And, it was going to be a beautiful pick there from Crispin, but just misreads it there. So it'll end up going down as a throwing error there for Colby Warren. And that's going to make things interesting here in the bottom of the 10th inning, as now there's a runner on second base.
Well, Chrisman, who's just been so good all game, just caught the bounce at the wrong time there. Pretty much happened right at his feet, so there's only so much you can do in that situation.
Yeah, with how deep that was, I imagine that one in the scorecard gets put down as an infield single, and then they'll give it an error on the throwing error on Warren as the advancing over to second base. So it'll go down as a hit there for Isaac Zepp, and that will prompt the mound visit here as they want to talk things over with Averett. Now with the runner on second base, go over signs, go over strategy, and just make sure that they know what they want to do here against a very dangerous hitter in Boston Vest, who has not had a great day at the plate, 0 for 4, but certainly a guy that could produce here in this spot and potentially give Dixie the win with just one swing of the bat.
Well, and if they get it here, they've earned it here.
Absolutely.
I would say just playing the mental battle,
innings,
and after 10 innings, it's I think that no one likes to see their team go down, but I feel like a lot of fans here will just like that sigh of relief as just closure.
All right, we're done. It's fine. But yeah, absolutely a great battle here today from the Golden Eagles. Again, they were behind the 8 ball the entire game, down 1-0 essentially from the tip. And to battle back in the 7th and score 2 runs and gave yourself a chance to win in that 7th inning, and then just a little bit of a bad break in the 7th to tie the game, and then still going toe-to-toe with a very good Dixie club here for an extra 3 innings. Oh yeah, I mean, Coach Thomas has got to be happy with his team here and the effort that they've put into this first game here today. A little tapper over to Warren. He'll make the throw. Chrisman will make the catch. Oh, okay, wait, he was waiting for it. They do say that he dropped it on the transfer, so the out is made over there at first base. So Boston Vest will ground out to the shortstop to end inning number 10. And once again, I'm just gonna wait here for 2 seconds before we say anything. I'm seeing flyers running onto the field, so I want to make sure though, because we've got now a conference here with coach and the umpire. I think this is just gonna be talking over things of fielding changes. So we are having an 11th inning. So we will get you that 11th inning when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, inning number 11 of this marathon game between the Dixie Flyers and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles as part of the Dixie Sunshine Tournament here in beautiful St. George, Utah. And wow, we've been catching sunlight all game long, and we've been catching just some beautiful baseball here on Spanish Fork 17. Just a beautiful pitching game for both teams. It's a low-scoring affair, 2-2. And wow, I mean, we've almost played basically played an extra half of a game here so far.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it originally was set to go 7 innings, and we're here in the 11th. I think at this point in the game, and I don't want to say something and jinx or, mess with the juju of what's going on here, but I feel like Maple Mountain really has shown to us that they do very well in these situations, and if anyone, I think they're favored here because they played from being down, and it literally came down to them being so close to just being put away, and were able to just clamber their way back into this one and claw their way back into this one, and they almost put it away like you mentioned a moment ago, and Dixie was just barely able to hang in there on a infield single. So I think that right here's the kind of chance to show their mettle, and we'll see what they're made of.
And they've got a good portion of the order here coming up. It's 2, 3, 4 in the lineup for the Golden Eagles. A.J. Thomas, Cy Chrisman, and Logan Bringhurst. So some guys that have certainly produced in these types of situations. They're guys that are currently set to be up here in the 11th inning. A rough day at the plate for A.J. Thomas. He struck out twice, has grounded out and flied out. But for Chrisman, he's 3 for 4 on the day, and so he's had a really nice day at the plate here for the Golden Eagles, and Bringhurst also with a hit as well. Thomas was going for the drag bunt there, and they do say that he went on the bunt attempt there, and there were some unhappy Golden Eagles fans with that, as that's going to be strike one. A.J. Thomas not particularly pleased about the call either.
Well, he pounds the plate, and you can pound the plate all you want, buddy, but just turn around and show them where they went wrong.
The 0-1 from Vest tries to attempt again. They do say that he got just a little bit of contact there, so that will be now an 0-2 count on the Golden Eagles designated hitter. You imagine that the bunt is off now, and he'll be swinging up there. Boston Vest has come in relief of Logan Levitt, has put up 2 scoreless innings so far. That one will just barely miss, move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has 3 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work so far. And played a really solid shortstop for most of the game as well. Thomas sprays that one out into shallow right field, and it will be down for a base hit. That is a breath of fresh air for the Golden Eagles, who have not had a hit since the 8th inning. Again, a single by Cy Chrisman, so they've basically gone through the entire order without a base hit, and so getting a big one off the bat of A.J. Thomas, just a nice little blooper that found its way out to outfield grass. It will be a leadoff single for Thomas, and it will bring up
Speaking of
Cy
the devil,
Chrisman,
or
who is
I guess the savior
3
in this
for 4
case.
on the day, potential savior of the game for
savior.
sure. I mean, yeah, a double and 2 singles, and that feels like the right call. If you're the Flyers, is just go ahead and give him first base. So it'll be the intentional walk to Chrisman to now set up a force out at all bases. And it brings up Logan Bringhurst, though, with runners on first and second. And, I mean, he's got a single in this ballgame. He hit one in the 7th. So, I mean, certainly Bringhurst is a guy that they're depending on. Batting there in cleanup, he'll watch that first pitch for a strike. Bringhurst, the run that came in the 7th inning to tie this ballgame up. And he sends one out into the outfield, out into left. The play will be made by Yates, who then makes a nice throw. And Warren will score on the play. As again, we are in extras, and so that runner from second base able to moved over to third on the intentional walk by Chrisman, and then scores on the sacrifice fly by Logan Bringhurst.
Yeah, it's not bad, but then you realize the flip side of the coin is they can do that on the other side of the inning, on the bottom side of the inning.
Yep,
so
that absolutely.
That's what keeps the playing field level.
That one will miss a little bit low and inside to Chase Johnston. Johnston 0 for 4 on the day, 2 strikeouts and 2 lineouts on the day. So some solid contact in his last 2 at bats. As Vest will step off of the plate, step off of the mound and reset things. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the top of the 11th inning. 3-2 ball game, 1-run lead for the Golden Eagles now over the Dixie Flyers, and that's going to be a fly ball out into left field. A busy inning for Braxton Yates, who will throw in yet another beautiful ball from the outfield.
Great toss.
That will keep Thomas locked in over there at second base. Now 2 outs in the top of the 11th inning. It will bring up Braden Catterson, who had the RBI double in the 7th inning to tie this ball game up at 1-1 in inning number 7. Another potential big moment here for him, with the Golden Eagles now up by 1, but would love to find some insurance runs here. Turn away from that one for ball 1.
Just about took it in the shoulder.
But you know, sometimes it's nice to wear a little badge of honor.
Yes.
They are going to throw it over to second base.
Almost made the tag.
Almost made the tag, but Thomas does get back in time. A nice, good pop-up time, a nice throw there from Erickson.
I think, well, we talked about appreciation for the pitchers. We've seen a great display from the pitchers, and also, backing them up is great catchers on each side, as we see Catterton, who's been excellent all game, as well as Erickson, and I just don't think that they've really had more than the combined of them. Maybe 4 balls get past them. So
they've
just a great display from both catchers.
Both been excellent today. It does help when you've got pitchers like Johnston and Levitt that are locating everything nicely. As Patterson will do a nice job of being patient and takes the walk, and it will load the bases up here now with 2 outs, and it will bring up Caden Giles.
Well, this could blow wide open.
Yeah, and Giles with the RBI hit in the 7th that gave the Golden Eagles the lead in the 7th inning, and so an opportunity to pad their lead here a little bit.
Well, he's going to
find some outfield grass.
He's going to say, hey, it didn't work the first time. It's going to work the second time. He's got to put this game away twice now.
Put it away. That one is outside for ball 1 to Giles. It's 1 for 3 on the day, so that RBI single, but he has struck out 3 times as well. Let's see what he can do here in his 5th at-bat. He'll watch a pitch for a strike. Even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. All the runners are getting, certainly Thomas is getting a nice generous lead over there at third base.
And at second base too.
And second base, over there, Crispin getting some.
Well, the danger ain't the same there as the second baseman's playing in the slot between first and second, and then the shortstop's playing in the slot there between second and third. So they're playing off the plate a little ways, but he only goes if third base goes, right? So.
Exactly, yeah. The 1-2 to Giles is slapped out into center field. And a sliding play made out there by Franco to end the top half of the inning. The Golden Eagles able to scratch across the run off the sacrifice fly by Logan Bringhurst. So taking the lead here in the top of the 11th, 3-2. They do strand all 3 of the other runners so the bases were loaded. So unfortunately not able to capitalize on that situation. But going into the bottom half of the inning with a 1-run lead gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That is Lance Wilson, State Farm, MVP Sports, 2 Jacks Pizza, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
You think that's the last time?
Oh, I mean, I feel like at some point we're going to run out of time here.
I feel like that point already came and went about half an hour ago.
It kind of feels that way. I mean, we're sitting now at 2 o'clock at this point. So
start at, what, 11:45?
This game started at 11:45, and so this, in theory, in terms of timing, should be the last inning. But, I mean, I kind of felt like it should have been the last inning, 2 innings ago. So I don't fully know, but we'll keep riding it out here for you on Spanish Fork 17. As long as the Golden Eagles are playing here against the Flyers, we will get you coverage of it. So don't go away, and let's stick around here for the bottom half of this 11th inning. And hopefully the Golden Eagles are able to put up a goose egg, hang on to this thing, and come away with the win. That's certainly what we're all hoping for. There is a new pitcher on the mound, by the way. I was not able to bring that up just yet. That is number 32 on the mound. Give me just a quick second to figure out who that is. So that's Caden Giles now in for.
So he started in right field, then he rotated over to center field, right? If I remember right.
Yep, that's
correct. So they're just going through the same rotation here.
So Caden Giles comes in from center field. Bennett Averett makes his way back out to center field. So that at least makes it a little bit easier on me. So if we just have to say,
where does that leave Johnston? Is he still over in right field?
Johnston's still out there in right field. Yeah, so Johnston in right, Averett in center, Giles now on the mound. And then up here for the Flyers is 2, 3, 4, Erickson, Yates, and Levitt. Lays down, and they go to 3 in time, not quite in time, as the the runner there will advance over to third base. It'll be a fielder's choice for Ridge Erickson, so he will be over there at first base, and Vest will stay over there at third. So the potential tying run in this one over there at third base, the potential winning run for this one over at first. And Braxton Yates now up. He'll send one, and that's going to just end up being a no-go there. So Giles will eat that thing up, and the bases will be loaded. A little bit of a bobble there just made it so there really wasn't a choice for any base for him to go to get an out. So bases loaded, no outs, and a big moment here for Logan Levitt, who delivered the first RBI hit of this game, an RBI double in the first inning.
He's been a little dry since then, though, right?
He has been a little dry since then. He is 1 for 3 on the day, as he hit that double and then a ground out, a fly out, and then took a walk in the 9th inning. The 1-0 from Giles is going to be outside. He'll move the count to 2 balls and no strikes.
Interesting move bringing Giles in.
Yeah, Averett had been cruising along here through those those 3 innings of work.
He's in a pretty tough pickle here with camping 3-0.
3-0 count with the bases loaded. 3-2 ball game. Giles will find the outside part of the plate though for a strike and keep himself alive and going here in this at bat with an opportunity to still get Levitt out 3-1. Infield in to try to throw down the runner trying to advance home. The 3-1 is sent out into center field. Averett will get underneath it. That is plenty of room for Vest to get home, and the throw gets a little bit away from Bringhurst, but does a good job of raging over to get to it. So that will advance the runners home. So Vest will score, and then Erickson actually is going to, so Erickson is over there at third, and then Yates will stay at first base. So big sacrifice fly for Logan Levitt to tie this ball game right back up at 3-3. 1 out here in the bottom of the 11th inning, and the winning run now 90 feet away, and they are going to opt to intentionally walk Bartholomew.
Well, this kind of puts the Eagles in a precarious situation here, because that was really the only option that they had, in my opinion, because any fly that Bartholomew is able to, pretty much any contact he makes with the ball wins the game. So
yeah, so this at least gives you force out opportunity at home, right. And then it also creates, if you're able to get lucky enough, a situation where you could potentially turn 2 here and end the inning. And so it sets up, it's just a slightly better situation for the Golden Eagles to just go ahead and say, hey, Bartholomew, take it, as this thing is sent out into right field. It'll be up and over the head of Chase Johnston, and that is going to be the ball game, as Max Orton walks this thing off for the Dixie Flyers with an RBI single that will score Ridge Erickson and end this ball game 4-3. An 11-inning just marathon here between the Golden Eagles and the Flyers. We'll get you a recap of this one when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport: paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17 and 11 inning just thriller here between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Dixie Flyers. The Flyers take this one 4-3 as they get an RBI single, walk-off single there from Max Orton to end this ball game. But wow, what a game for the Golden Eagles. I mean, they were behind the 8 ball basically the entire game. 1-0 all the way through to the 7th inning, able to claw their way to tie it and to take the lead there in the 7th inning off a couple of hits from Caden Giles, and then the one that tied the ball game up off of the bat of Braden Catterson, and then went toe-to-toe with the Flyers for the next couple of innings, but eventually attrition sets in and someone was going to eventually win this ball game, and it went to the Flyers. But what a ball game we just witnessed, Coach T.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were so many people who really showed up big this game, and I think you can walk away from this club, one team wins, one team loses. That's always the way it goes, but you look at both these clubs, and they gave a really good showing of what they're capable of. So I think, despite what the scorecard's going to say, you can look at this Maple Mountain team and think that they're going to be a really tough team to beat throughout the season, especially coming down here and playing strong against a really, really good Flyers club.
Yeah, a couple of really standout performers here for the Golden Eagles. As Bennett Averett had a nice game. Came in relief of Johnston, had some good innings. Cy Crispin had a really solid day at the plate. So love seeing those two guys contributing in this one.
Absolutely. And should we go ahead and name our
MVP
Sports
MVP Sports
of the game?
MVP of the game is Chase Johnston, who started this ball game off for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and went toe-to-toe with Logan Levitt, who was, wow, Logan Levitt was something else here in this ball game. Went 8 innings, struck out 11, only gave up the 2 runs in that 7th inning. Johnston was just as good with 7 strikeouts, only allowed 2 hits and a walk during his time on the mound, and only allowed the 2 runs to score. So really just was so phenomenal in this game, and gave Maple Mountain a real chance to win this one. And so we love seeing that from Johnston. Again, he had such a solid sophomore season. We love seeing that he's just basically picking up right where he left off from last year. He's going to be an absolute asset for Coach Thomas and this team, knowing that every time he's on the mound, he gives them a real chance to win every single ball game.
Absolutely. And one thing you talked about there is attrition, and just how kind of over the length of the game teams start to tire out, and eventually someone's going to slip up, make that mistake. And I just think a lot of this goes to show the just the fact that Coach Danny Ibsen has been with these Flyers for a long time. He's the one who kind of keeps their heads in the game. He's the one who kind of keeps them from making mistakes over the long term. So big shout out to him and his staff, who's been with this program for a very long time. But like I said, I don't think we're only a couple games into the season, and there's no way that at this point in time we could count out anything that the Golden Eagles are going to be able to do.
Yeah, it really looked really awesome in this game against a very good Dixie program. Want to remind you that we do have another game here today for you. It'll be the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles up against the Bear River Grizzlies. That is going to be at approximately 4:30 p.m., so make sure to stay tuned. Again, I say approximately, but this game obviously went long, and so there's a real chance that the other game is going to the game that's currently being set up for right now will probably bleed into that. So just go ahead and stay tuned. We'll let you know, give you some updates, and to figure out when it is that we're going to be going live. But again, the graphic says 4:30, but it will most likely be a little bit later. But stay tuned to make sure to tune into that game. It'll be a really exciting one against the Grizzlies. For our crew here at Spanish Fork 17, I'm Andrew LaRose. He's Coach T. Thank you so much for sticking with us during this absolute marathon of a game. 11-inning masterpiece between the Flyers and the Golden Eagles. Goes the way of Dixie, is what is. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you for the next game here against the Grizzlies on Spanish Fork 17.
Got it.